roster tonight, we're going to see another debut. Eric Thames will make his debut. And Pat, for a long time, the Blue Jays were the benchmark for developing position players, but it's been a long drought. Now they're finally starting to turn the corner.
That's right. The last couple of years, it's been about pitchers for the Blue Jays. We've seen Romero and Cecil, Zepchinski and Drabek, and now we're starting to see some everyday players. J.P. Arencibia is the catcher, and now we're starting to see some more young ones make their way to the big leagues. Eric Thames is young, athletic, very quick bat, very strong. Brett Laurie, just 21 years old, playing his first season in AAA. He leads the team in home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. He's also hitting .337. Travis Snyder has gone down to the minor leagues to revamp his swing, but there's no doubt in my mind that he can be an impact player in the big leagues. So it's nice to see these young players start to find their way to Toronto.
Eric Thames was in the lineup last night in Detroit. That game was rained out. He's had to wait 24 hours for his major league debut. Off to a great start in AAA. He's got a lot of power. He is another one of these young guns that the Blue Jays feel that they are part of the big future. Eric Thames against Jeremy Hellickson in his big league debut tonight here at Rogers Center. Jamie?
Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Indoor baseball, Eric Thames will make his major league debut tonight, and he is an anxious man. He was in the lineup last night in Detroit, got trained out, and Eric Thames is well aware how high the bar is set in major league debuts last year. J.P. Arencibia made his major league debut against this Tampa Bay Rays team. He went 4 for 5 with 2 homers, and Eric Thames said he's not set his sights so high.
Yeah, I'm not getting near Aaron Sebia right now, just because what he did was just crazy. And then his debut this year, the first game of the year, yeah, he's just a man made for debuts. So, you know, I'm just gonna hang out and I'll try to borrow one of his bats or be Pierce, I don't know, or the game, and hopefully I can hit 2 bombs or hit a bomb. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm just trying to have fun.
Eric Thames is a very enthusiastic, genuine young man. He's 24 years old. Yesterday, he anticipated making his debut, but the rain didn't diminish his enthusiasm, Pat. He was out there accommodating what fans were still hanging around in the rain.
While everybody else was in the clubhouse playing cards and maybe even watching a ball game on the television, he was out there just praying for the rain to stop, engaging with the fans and talking with the media, just hoping that that day would start. He's only had to wait 24 hours, and he was the first one on the field today. He was out there very early, and I'm telling you, he's probably just chomping at the bit right now, waiting for his first at-bat.
He is ready to get his first at-bat, that's for sure. Joe Maddon's team leads the American League East. The Tampa Bay Rays are 24-18. They have a 2-game lead in the East. Let's take a look at their lineup. Offensively, they've been struggling of late. Sam Pohl is the leadoff batter. We saw him last time. He was on fire. Ben Zobrist, Johnny Damon, Evan Longoria. Longoria is still trying to find his timing after spending time on a disabled list in the month of April. Matt Joyce is really swinging a hot bat. He's got a lot of power. He's got a 366 average. B.J. Upton, Casey Kotchman, Elliott Johnson. He hasn't been anointed in the everyday shortstop, but Joe Maddon said you're going to see a lot of Johnson at short, and John Jaso is the catcher, and they are prepared to take on Jesse Lynch,
who is looking for his 3rd straight win. He beat the Tigers on May the 6th, gave up 1 run, pitched into the 7th inning, a career-high 9 strikeouts in that game. Followed that up with 3 runs versus the Red Sox. That was a 9-3 win by the Blue Jays. Since coming back from AAA Las Vegas, he has put together some very good outings for the Blue Jays. In his career, he's made 5 starts versus the Rays. 0-3 versus Tampa Bay, his hometown team. He hasn't faced them since August of 2008.
Take a look at the defense behind Jesse Lynch in the outfield. Patterson, Davis, and Bautista. It's been a very good outfield since Davis has returned to center field. Jason Nix makes his 13th start. He is back off the disabled list and starting against Tampa Bay. Escobar Hill up the middle. Encarnacion at first. JP Sebia continues to look very much like an everyday catcher. So we are set for action in this 2-game series. Sam Pohl, the leadoff batter. Looks at a first pitch fastball up and away. Sam Pohl has cooled off, and I guess you have to cool off from where he was when we last saw him here in this building. He was on fire, had 2 3-hit games in that series.
Hitting everything. Everything was finding a hole for Sam Pohl. He's now had 7 hitless games in a row. But Joe Maddon still shows great confidence in him, putting him up in that leadoff spot.
Last 20 games, hitting a .118. Hits this grounder. 3 hopper to the second baseman. First out of the ball game for Jesse Lynch.
That's what he will do, Jesse Lynch. He will run that cutter in on those left-handed batters. You're talking about when he went down to the minor leagues and then came back, he still had that fire. They didn't have to get his intensity up after sending him down. He was a very tough competitor.
Well, it's an earned opportunity, not a right, to pitch in the big leagues, and I think everybody on his roster understands it with the demotion of Travis Snyder and Brett Cecil and Jesse Lynch.
But, you know, he has come back here and he, you know, has pitched some good ball games. Very competitive. He has held some leads for the team when they've given them to him.
Ben Zobrist. There's a strike on the corner that evens the count at 1-1. 289 average, and you can see he's been productive. 8 homers and 28 driven in.
Yeah, not your typical number 2 hitter. He also is tied with Jose Bautista with most extra base hits in the American League.
Very versatile player. He can play second base, he can play right field, and he plays them both very well. Last 21 games, he's hit nearly 400. Pitch falls behind 3-1.
It's an odd platoon that Joe Maddon uses with Zobrist. Very rarely will you see a guy play against a right-hander at second base and against a left-hander who'll play in the outfield, but he's that talented.
Takes the 1-out walk.
Tonight's scouting report of Jesse Litch is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. For him to be successful, he needs to go in and out with his fastball. He's got to be able to command it and command it to the inside and outside parts of the plate. He has been mixing well. When you watch him pitch, he's been throwing his curveball, changeup, and a cutter to everybody. He's been really pitching now, and he's got that Tampa connection. Went to Dixie Hollins High School in Tampa.
Johnny Damon takes the first pitch, strike. Boy, what a pickup Damon has been, not only for what he has done offensively and put up good numbers, but for his leadership. He helped them get out of that 1-8 start just by his confidence and his encouragement.
Coming up with big base hits also. It was almost every day of a week where he had a game-winning hit. I believe he had 5 straight game-winning hits.
Blue Jays haven't figured out how to get him out yet. Hit that home run against Brandon Morrow in Morrow's first start, a first inning 2-run home run that got the Rays off and running. Damon's in a hole, 0-2. Drilled but foul down the left side. Left-hander Johnny Damon, one of those guys that you look at his swing, and we've had this conversation in the past about a sweet swinging left-hander. He isn't exactly what you would call a sweet swinging left-hander, but he has the combination that works against Jesse Litch.
Finds the hole, puts the barrel to the ball. Not a lot of extra movement. Just when you think you can get a ball inside on him, he'll turn on it.
Hit on the ground. Encarnacion knocks it down, bobbles it. He has no play. Encarnacion knocked the ball down. That looked like he stepped on it. He was able to pick it up, but by the time he got it, he didn't have a plate.
Had some thoughts of possibly underhanding the ball to second base, but there's a lot of team speed on this Tampa Ray team, and they don't take anything for granted. When he picks it up, you see he's going to think about maybe getting the runner at second base, but Zobrist running hard all the way. No chance for Encarnacion to flip it over to the shortstop.
Now, the score has ruled that a base hit, and I don't see any way in the world that's a base hit.
No. It hit him in the glove, and you've got to be able to get an out.
Yeah, you're going to get an out at second if he fields it cleanly. So it's first and second, one out for the ever dangerous Evan Longoria. Off the plate inside. Now Jesse Litch is going to have to pitch around some trouble here in the first. Longoria is still struggling to find his timing.
We were talking to Derek Shelton before the game, the hitting coach for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he said because he has missed 20 games or so, that you look up at that scoreboard and the numbers aren't there, and the tendency is to press just a little bit.
Isn't that interesting? No matter how much success Longoria has had, you still set such high standards for yourself, and you feel like you're trailing everybody.
There are his numbers since coming from the disabled list: 2 home runs and the 8 RBIs. Came off the DL just in time to face the Blue Jays down in Tampa to begin this month. And I don't care how long you've been around this game. When you look up at that scoreboard, you want to see some big numbers.
Breaking ball catches the outside corner, 2-1. Longoria just 2 for his last 18 over his last 4 games. Hasn't had an extra base hit. Fouled it off that shin guard.
Well, one thing that Jesse Litch has going for him is his numbers against right-handed batters. This year he has been sensational versus the righties. There are his numbers in 6 starts, a good earned run average. Lefties have given Jesse problems, but right-handers, nothing.
Right-handers bid $145 against Jesse Litch. That's 3rd lowest in the majors. Tampa Bay has had similar problems to the Blue Jays with runners in scoring position. Longoria takes it low. It's a full count. This is where Litch really has to focus on making a quality pitch and not really worrying about the situation.
Runners probably will be taken off to stay out of the double play. Damon and Zobrist took a long look at Tom Foley, the third base coach.
Not running. Line to the third baseman. Nix quickly to his feet. What a double play. Welcome back, Jason Nix, making his first start since April 22nd. Gets Jesse Litch out of a tough jam in the first. Longoria hit it right on the button. But look at the reaction of Litch as Nix dives to his left, pops to his feet, doubles off Zobrist at second. Together, and he was pleased, I'm sure, to see Jason Nix make that double play to end the first. Jays are a game over 500. Top of the order's been on fire. Escobar, Patterson, Bautista all have 8-game hit streaks. Aaron Hill bumps up to the cleanup spot tonight. Encarnacion's at first. JP Arancibia getting an awful lot of duty behind the plate. And Eric Thames in the DH spots makes his major league debut here tonight. Davis and Nix round out the lineup.
You won't see a finer play than Jason Nix to end that first inning. Jeremy Hellickson is coming off a stellar start. Complete game shutout of the Orioles on Friday. Hasn't allowed a run over his past 14 innings pitched. His only start against the Jays was right here on April the 22nd when he went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, and got a no decision in that game. A game the Blue Jays eventually would come back to win.
They won it in the 10th inning on John McDonald's walk-off 2-run home run. So 24-year-old Jeremy Hellickson is set to face the Blue Jays here. Yunel Escobar, we mentioned his 8-game hit streak, hitting 500 over those 8 games. Boy, if the Blue Jays could get to Hellickson in the first inning, what a turnaround in the first inning with 2 on and 1 out. Longoria hit a bullet at the third baseman. They turned it into a double play.
Looked like a sure run, but some good defense on the left side bailed him out. Escobar's got a great approach in batting practice. When you stand behind the cage and you watch him go through his routine in BP, really stays in the middle of the field. Makes that pitcher work on the outside part of the plate.
Pulls this one foul outside of third. That's a great point, because not only does that help him stay in a big part of the diamond, but it makes him more patient, more selective at the plate during that hit streak. You can see the numbers: 14 for 28. He's had a homer. Look at the walks. That's a big number for a leadoff guy, of course.
That's the walks. And when you think about hitting the ball back through the middle, that front shoulder stays in there and you track the ball a little bit better.
Pretty good pitch, and that's one thing you're going to see with Hellickson. He's got good command. He doesn't throw as hard as David Price, and he has a great changeup, but boy, he has good command, works both sides of the plate.
He really has an idea out on that mound. Be ready for that pitch all night.
It's a great changeup, and he'll throw it any time, and certainly he has a great leader on his team in James Shields, who is the master of the changeup. So you watch Shields ahead of you throw that pitch, and it gives you a lot of confidence that you can do it. Wade Davis will go tomorrow. He was sitting next to Shields on the bench. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a high changeup, 79 miles an hour, and Escobar couldn't connect. First strikeout of the night for Jeremy Hellickson.
Some indecision right there from Escobar. Not real sure. You see the swing, not real sure, and he asked the home plate umpire if it's a strike or not, but it was up. You got to really gauge Jeremy Hellickson down. If a ball is up around your letters, it's up there for a reason. He's got great command.
1 out. Corey Patterson will step in. Patterson hitting .276. It was after that high fastball, just what you were talking about.
He will do that just to elevate your eye level and get you looking up there. But for the most part, he's going to be down, so your sights have to be down.
Patterson also enjoying an 8-game hit streak. His longest hit streak of his career, he's done it twice. The most recent was all the way back in 2004 with the Cubs. He had an 11-game hit streak. So he's closing in on a career high.
Been a big reason why the Blue Jays have been averaging about 7.5 runs during this win streak. He and Escobar getting on base. Patterson's on base percentage now up over 300, making life a lot easier for Jose Bautista.
It's the best protection you can give a good hitter, is get runners on ahead of him. This one's popped up. It's a changeup, should be playable. KOTCHMAN, the first baseman, 2 outs. The Toronto Sun's front page in yesterday's edition declared Jose Bautista the best player in baseball. And I agree with that 100%. He's doing everything.
Playing great defense. Hitting .370. Great numbers, great home runs, great RBIs, but also one of the best in the clubhouse.
Last time he faced Hellickson, he went 3 for 3.
And he came within a whisker of the cycle. How about this defense that Joe Maddon's going to throw on Jose Bautista?
3 infielders on the left side of the diamond. And Maddon is the professor as far as exaggerated defensive alignments. He's used 5 outfielders against David Ortiz at Fenway Park, and now he's got 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond.
He'll also bring in an outfielder to play the 5-man infield when he needs to.
Off speed pitch for a strike. It's 2-1. It's really been interesting to watch the pitchers and how they approach Bautista.
I think watching this infield alignment that they put up, Elliott Johnson, the shortstop, is really pulled over in the hole. It tells me he's either going to pound him inside or throw a lot of slow stuff.
I'll go with the slow stuff.
Yeah. Pounding inside, you make a mistake and it's going to end up in the seats.
2-2. Ripped off the glove of Longoria down the left field line. Bautista around first. He will stop there as Full got to it quickly. What a shot. Off the glove of a Gold Glover at third for a base hit.
Probably the quickest hands for a third baseman in the American League is Evan Longoria, and he had no chance on this one. Pulled over, and it just undresses him down at third base. Ball on the inner half, and that ball was just shot at him.
I bet you could pull Evan Longoria, and there aren't many balls hit any harder than that right at him. That was a rocket. Bautista at first. 2 outs for Aaron Hill in the cleanup spot tonight.
Something about Hellickson for Jose Bautista. Last time he faced him, he got 3 extra base hits. And now he gets his single to complete the cycle against him.
The cycle goes back to the April 22nd game. Another changeup. Boy, he'll throw it any time. And what would your approach be in a situation like this? He's got a good fastball, but that changeup is something he always goes to.
Can you go up there looking for the changeup? Maybe until you get to 2 strikes. You know, Cito Gaston always talked about having a plan, and if you want to look for a changeup, go ahead and look for it.
But stick with it.
But stick with it. Don't change 1 or 2 pitches into the at bat.
0-2, 2 outs. Got him. Hellickson throws it again and gets the strikeout, but he strands a base runner. Bautista got a hit. Hellickson strikes out 2. We're scoreless after an inning. Killebrew passed away on Friday, and Killebrew's great career started in Washington with the Senators. Then that franchise moved to Minnesota. I had the distinct pleasure of playing with Harmon Killebrew in Kansas City in 1975. He went into the Hall of Fame in '84. He had 573 career home runs. That was the third highest total at that time. And Harmon Killebrew was truly, in every essence of the phrase, a Hall of Famer.
It has been a rough year for Hall of Famers this year. We've lost a few of them.
Lost 5 Hall of Famers in just over a year. Duke Snider, of course, who had so many long years with the Montreal Expos. Robin Roberts, Sparky Anderson. It's just been a tough year. Bob Feller of the Indians as well. But Harmon was a terrific teammate and a prodigious home run hitter. Matt Joyce takes the pitch on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to start the second. Matt Joyce, an interesting player for Tampa Bay. He's really come along. He was acquired in a trade with the Detroit Tigers. And he had to bide his time and was basically in a platoon situation for the first couple of years. But over his last 18 games, he has bumped his average up dramatically.
Yeah, he was a platoon player, battled some injuries the last few years. Came over from the Tigers in the Edwin Jackson trade, and now he is getting some regular playing time, and Joe Madden's not going to take him out of the lineup.
Joyce is second in the American League in hitting at 366 to Jose Bautista, so he's going to play him an awful lot. Leadoff man aboard here in the second. B.J. Upton. Then the homer on Monday night against the Yankees in that 6-5 win. Squares around to show bunt and gets hit by a pitch. And Jesse Litch is arguing that he bunted at it. And it's going to be a hit by pitch, and Upton will go to first. First, he'll get some attention from the training staff.
Looked like he was squaring, but that ball ran in on him and it ricocheted. It looked like off his right wrist and then hit him in the chest. And that's a bunt for a base hit attempt, and that ball just kept riding in on him.
So again, Jesse Litch has created some problems. The leadoff walk, and he hit a batter. It's first and second, nobody out. First inning, he was bailed out by outstanding double play by the third baseman, Jason Nix. So now Casey KOTCHMAN will dig in. KOTCHMAN starting at first base tonight. KOTCHMAN's off to a good start with the bat. It's always been a problem for him. There's no problem with his glove. It's always been the bat that hasn't caught up to his defensive glove.
Great fielder. Don't look for a lot of power from Casey KOTCHMAN. Just get ready for some situational hitting. If they want to hit and run with him, they can do that.
Now Jesse Litch has to find the strike zone. KOTCHMAN's been hot over his last 12 games. He's at 357. But this team will do a lot of things. We have seen them over the years. They play hit and run. They'll start the runners. They'll bunt early in a ball game.
They'll show you bunt. They'll take it off. They'll do just about anything to score runs.
That's a strike. One thing that's been so good for Jesse over his last several starts has been his control. He's used his fastball very effectively, and that has allowed him to use his secondary pitches with more effectiveness.
Just one walk his last time up against the Boston Red Sox. He did have 3 walks in that 9 strikeout game against Detroit. I'll trade 9 strikeouts for 3 walks anytime.
Late on the fastball. Litch will throw 91, 92 from time to time, but he's going to have to rely more on his command and location.
Like we said in the scouting report, in and out is going to be so important. Fastball command, and when you pitch off of that fastball, it makes his other stuff that much better. He's got a good changeup, a good breaking ball, a good cutter with good late movement. That's the pitch that he will use against the right-handers.
Ground ball, could be 2. He'll bobbles it. He'll have to go to first and get KOTCHMAN at first. There have been a couple of bobbles on the infield. It reflects the fact the Blue Jays have been off this artificial surface for a few days. That could have been 2. KOTCHMAN doesn't run that well.
It would have been acrobatic because B.J. Upton was right down the throat of Escobar at second base. It had to be a good throw, and then Escobar would have to do everything else. You can see Upton with that good speed was going to be right in on Escobar, so it would have been tough, but they would have kept the double play in order if they got that runner out in the middle of the diamond.
So now runners are at second and third with 1 out. Joyce walked to start the inning. Upton was hit by a pitch. Elliott Johnson. Joe Madden said earlier that Elliott Johnson was going to play a lot of shortstop. He had given both Reed Brignac and Elliott Johnson about equal time to win the job, and Brignac just hasn't responded with the bat.
Johnson is starting to. He hit a home run the other day, his 2nd of the season. And Brignac has really struggled offensively.
A ball on the strike to the Rays shortstop. See the numbers, and every manager is going to lean in Johnson's favor. 11 games, he's hit .320 with a couple of homers. For a team that's scuffling overall offensively, you got to go with a hot bat.
Yeah, whatever that bat is, even if it's just .260. 13 hits and 50 at bats.
Tampa Bay, an unusual record for Joe Madden's team this year. They are 11-13 at home and 13-5 on the road. And we asked him about it earlier, Pat, and he said, I have no idea why we're the near opposite of what we should be.
I think it's because of all those road trips, that team unity stuff that they have, those road trips.
That's a good point.
They dress up.
They really have a lot of themed trips. We have seen them come into Toronto in NHL sweater outfits. We've seen the Elvis Presley outfits, the all-white tour, loudmouth pants tour, all different kinds of themed trips for the Rays. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Driven into right field. Bautista over. He's not going to get it. 1 run's in to score. Joyce comes in. Upton's getting the wave home. He'll score. The ball hits the base, and now Johnson's going to move into second. Throws it away into center, and Elliott Johnson is up. He'll go over to third. Boy, that is a very unusual situation, but Bautista's throw hit second base squarely and bounced away all the way over to the third baseline.
You wouldn't expect that when the right fielder throws the ball in. They were conceding the run from second base. Ball wasn't hit very hard by Johnson, and they concede the run from third and second. Watch when the ball goes to second. Ricochets right off the bat. I mean, right in no man land, and then Litch, trying to make something where there's nothing there, throws the ball away into center field. Probably a couple of errors, I would think, on that play.
It's exactly what it is. An E9 on Bautista, and then Jesse Litch is charged with an error that allowed Johnson to go to third. Number 9 hitter John Jaso, 2 runs in. Jaso takes the pitch. It's called no swing. Bautista's throw, couldn't ask for a better throw. Hit the bag.
Right at the bag. That's what you're taught.
But he will be charged with an error, as will Jesse Litch. Second error of the season for Bautista.
Just the second error of the season on a Blue Jay pitcher also.
I don't care how many games you play, how many times you see a ball game, that leadoff walk will come in every single time you put him on. And then Litch compounded the situation when he hit B.J. Upton.
He's set up the whole inning so far, and now he's got to work to get the number 9 hitter.
Now, Tampa Bay has scored 2 runs here. They have jumped out with an early lead. 2 runs on 1 hit. Casey KOTCHMAN got a ground ball. He advanced the runners to second and third, and Elliott Johnson delivered. And leaving the count at 2-2.
Jaso is one of those hitters who take a lot of pitches, work the count. You see Joe Madden thinking about how he's going to get that runner in from third base.
Full count. Well, they are very good at sacrificing, bunting, squeezing the guy in from third, using a first and third bunt. All different sorts of tricks. They'll manufacture runs however Madden sees fit. Full count. Jaso bounces it off the plate.
One of the most famous plays that they like to use is the safety squeeze with a runner at third. Make that first baseman field the ball. And you get the ball down on the right side of the infield, it's a free run. A lot of discussion between Tom Foley and that base runner.
Now, even if there's nothing going on, he's going to make you think there's something on. Another full count pitch to Jaso. He walked him. That's the 3rd walk Litch has allowed already here tonight. He's also hit a batter. Tampa Bay has just the one Elliott Johnson single. But here's where you really got to be on your toes. Top of the order. Litch struggling with his command. Full can handle the bat. Good base runner at third. Good base runner at first.
Yeah, that's why they're going to talk about it right here. Full's been struggling a little bit. I thought when it was 2-1 and Jaso was at the plate, I thought they might have put something on right there. I watched Foley get the signs from Madda, and I saw him go through a whole lot of signs. And whenever you see the third base coach talk to that runner, you got to figure something is up.
This is the old dilemma here. Now, Joe Madden's thinking, do I put it on the first pitch? Because they just had a meeting. But they're thinking, well, we just had a meeting, so he probably won't put it on the first pitch. Who makes the first move?
Yeah, that's right. Plus, Litch has been struggling finding the strike zone. It's hard to put the squeeze or the safety squeeze on when the guy's not throwing strikes.
That's a great point. If you do square around the bunt and he's wild, you're not going to get a bat on the ball. But this has the Blue Jays defense on their toes. You can bat. Tampa Bay has already scored 2 this inning. Just 1 out. Johnson at third, JOYCE at first. There it is. Safety squeeze. Encarnacion will have to go to first and throws it away. No matter that the Blue Jays had a meeting, they talked about it. Joe Maddon said, this is what we got to do. I got a guy that's struggling at the plate. He's left-handed. I'm going to put it on. And the odds are really against him in that situation.
But if you make the first baseman field the ball and you've got enough speed at third base, everybody's going to be safe. You've got to attack. As soon as that guy turns at the plate to squeeze, you've got to attack. You can't lay back like that. You see it, they defend it, and it works out perfectly. Just get it on the ground. Even if he comes up with it clean and goes home, he's going to be safe.
Yeah, timing is of the ultimate importance, and then once that throw is off the bag, Hill has no chance to recover. 3 runs in the inning. I mean, this is a typical Tampa Bay inning. This is how they score their runs in bunches.
They don't hit a lot of home runs, not when they lost their big home run hitter from a year ago. But you've got to scratch and claw and have good speed, work the bases. There's more than one way to score runs in baseball.
Well, and 2 now, you've got Zobrist, Damon, and Longoria. Those are the guys you want to plate with runners on.
There's 40 home runs this year. 42 home runs for Tampa.
Two balls and a strike. You talk about the odds being against Sam Fuld in that situation. He's a left-handed batter. You can pitch out. It's an easy play for the catcher. But Maddon had all of those factors in his mind and said, you know what, this is what we do and this is how we score runs, so let's go with it.
And it looked like it was a safety squeeze. So if he misses it or fouls it, you're not running into an out, or if they pitch out, or if he bunts at it and he misses it.
Jesse Litch struggling with his control. We talked about how good he had been the last time out. His ability to throw strikes, and tonight that has left him. He has walked 3 and hit a batter. Fly ball down the left field line.
Other than that base hit to right field that was hit softly by Johnson, they haven't gotten the ball out of the infield. But they've created situations for him where one big swing will get you a lot of runs.
We have seen this more often than not with Jesse Litch, where he gets down to the bottom of the order. And the bottom of the order seems to cause problems. We saw that in Boston. He gave up 4 runs, 4 consecutive hits, capped off by Ellsbury's 3-run homer. And it was the bottom 4 in the order. This is driven to left field. Corey Patterson has a lot of speed. He gets back and makes the catch. Base runners will retreat. The ball hung up there a long time and enabled Patterson to get back and make the catch.
Jesse's going to have to make some adjustments here and get his ball down. His defense has helped him out tonight. Still not out of the woods, and Eric Thames can't wait for this inning to get over so he can grab a bat.
Tampa Bay has taken a 3-0 lead here. They have scored with the benefit of just 1 hit. Johnny Damon hits it sharply, but right at Edwin Encarnacion, and the Rays are finally retired. But they have taken a 3-0 lead. We will see the Major League debut of Eric Thames off to a red-hot start in AAA.
repeatable delivery and very effortless when he throws his fastball. Subtract with the changeup. You said it in the first inning. It's so true. He'll throw that changeup at any time and subtract miles per hour with it. And he added a cutter last year just to keep the hitters a little bit honest. He's very good. He's got 3 pitches that he can throw over for strikes at any time.
Just another one of the fine young pitchers that Tampa Bay has developed in their own system. And you can look at David Price, James Shields, Wade Davis, and now Jeremy Hellickson. Edwin Encarnacion will start things off. Looks at a fastball off the plate outside. Encarnacion playing first base tonight. His 7th start at first base, filling in for Adam Lind, who's on the DL.
Was originally in the cleanup spot in yesterday's ball game before it got rained out, and John Farrell electing to flip-flop he and Aaron Hill, saying that Aaron is starting to swing the bat a little bit better. Wants Encarnacion to start driving in runs.
Pops this one up a mile high. Casey KOTCHMAN has room on the warning track, makes the catch. 1 out. Encarnacion's retired. JP Arancibia will step in. Arancibia doing the majority of the catching now. Did a nice job on Monday night handling Kyle Drabek. Jose Molina started out the season as Drabek's catcher.
I think he just keeps getting better and better the more he plays. It's just the middle of May, so he's played six weeks in the big leagues. Last year he played a couple of games, but just didn't play enough, and I just see the improvement every day.
You know what? That is as good a changeup as you will see in baseball. Everybody in the Blue Jays lineup knows he's going to throw it, and you still can't tell yourself to slow down enough to hit it.
He'll throw it 2 times in a row. He'll throw it 3 times in a row.
Breaking ball bounced in the dirt. What makes the changeup so effective?
Arm speed. If you throw with good arm speed, it looks like it's a fastball. If Jeremy Hellickson can establish fastball in the mind of the hitters and then pull the string, you know, it's just so hard to see it in the lay back.
Eric Thames on deck. Comes right back with the changeup. You strike out a big league hitter with a changeup. It is tough.
Number 46, Eric Thames.
Now the fans are aware of Eric Thames. They have watched him progress through the minor leagues. Last year he had 27 home runs and drove in 104 at AA. Good numbers at Las Vegas.
And will not get cheated.
We saw that in the spring.
First big league pitch, and he is coming off that bench swinging. He's got a quick bat. You watch him take batting practice, and the ball really jumps off of his bat.
Hellickson pushed him back off the plate. Just a little message to a rookie. Hey, you swung pretty hard at that.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's okay. That's what I'm going to do. There's the changeup, 80 miles an hour.
Guess what's coming again?
Yeah, he's going to see another one. 3 strikeouts so far for Hellickson. Fastball on the corner. Had that changeup on his mind, and Hellickson catches the outside corner. Through 2 innings, Hellickson has struck out 4. Good command, good control, great changeup, and then he catches the outside with that heater. won 6 straight, and you look at how they've done it. They've gotten good pitching. They've scored enough runs. They've hit over 300 and pounded out 10 home runs, and this has been a complete baseball team over the last 6 games.
6.5 runs a game during this win streak, and you saw the hits per game. It was at 11. John Farrell was talking about it could have been a lot worse. They left a lot of runners on base, but still had a good road trip also. 4-0. They hit over 300 as a team.
Longoria, he's going to say it hit his bat. Now he wants an appeal. Mike DeMiro said it hit his bat. And now they're going to ask the third base umpire. Joe Madden was out quickly. It certainly sounded like it hit his bat, but I bet you it hit his elbow pad.
Yeah, it certainly did hit his elbow pad. You don't see a reaction from a ball player when it goes against him the way Evan Longoria protested that right away. He wears that elbow pad. I don't know how the umpire thought it would hit his bat the way he turns his back. How's it going to hit his bat?
Where is it going to hit the bat? Yeah, he's got the bat behind his body, but you could hear the sound, and that did sound. And now you can see how the umpire thought it hit his hand and the bat at the same time, but obviously it hit him in the elbow pad. Matt Joyce, long drive right field. This ball is gone. 2-run home run, Matt Joyce. For Joyce, his 7th home run of the season. It's a 5-0 lead for Tampa Bay.
He has been wearing out right-handed pitching. Matt Joyce, #1 in the American League, hitting almost 400 against right-handed pitching. He walked his first time up, saw a lot of pitches, and then says, okay, if I get one out over the plate, I'm going to let it go, and he certainly did. No chance as this one lands in the seats.
Easy power. Matt Joyce can generate some backspin, and that was a no-doubter into the seats in right. Again, the extra base runner proves costly for Jesse Litch. He's walked 3 and hit 2. Wild swing by B.J. Upton. Upton was hit by a pitch and scored into second. A ball and 2 strikes. Matt Joyce, 2nd in the American League in hitting. And B.J. Upton does a good job taking that ball right back up the middle.
Well, right now, Jesse Litch doesn't have anything to get the guys out. He's got a good cutter, got a fastball that he's got a spot, and a changeup. And right now, just doesn't have anything to get him out. As you see John Farrell go through his options in the bullpen.
Looking at the lineup, looking at the matchup, checking out what his next move might be. Not a good feeling for a manager in the 3rd inning with your starter down 5-0.
Been pitching some solid baseball for Blue Jays. Some good outings.
Upton's always a threat to run. He's 7 for 10 in steals this year, and it's early in the ball game, and they're not going to sit back. Throws it away. Ball gets away from Encarnacion. Upton's going to go all the way to 3rd. Great strides as Upton easily coasts into 3rd base. That's an error on Jesse Litch, his 2nd error of the ball game. The low throw in the dirt allows B.J. Upton to go all the way to 3rd.
Infield has to come in now. Again, 5-0. Here is the throw. Catchable ball. Don't know if that hit the ground. It looks like it should have been caught, but it gets by Encarnacion, and
now he throws it away at home, and all hands are safe. Encarnacion's having a tough night at first.
Well, Jesse did not get over on that ball to the right side. The defense is really letting John Farrell's team down already tonight. 3 innings. He backed up on the ball. Encarnacion, they were playing in, and he was going to flip the ball because Upton didn't come. Making the ball go through, he's going to flip the ball, but Litch just stopped. And then Encarnacion, when he saw Upton break to the plate, threw it high. You see Litch forgetting to get over there. I mean, it's just all coming apart right now.
Blue Jays have committed 4 errors already, and here's another squeeze bunt. Safety squeeze was on again, and why not? The Blue Jays are on their heels, and Joe Maddon's trying to take advantage of it. Tom Foley, the third base coach, going through the signs. Elliott Johnson has a couple of RBI already tonight. Joe Maddon's team has struggled to score runs at home, but that's not been a problem for them on the road.
Scored 6 runs in a game for the first time. Their last game back in Tampa a couple of nights ago. On the road, it hasn't been a problem.
Nobody out. Two runs in here in the third inning. The Matt Joyce 2-run homer, and the Rays are threatening. Runners at the corners, and nobody out. Boy, this is another perfect opportunity for them to put that safety squeeze on. KOTCHMAN at first, Upton at third.
Forces you to make the play, and if you do, it's almost defensible. You can't defend it. You'll trade it out for a run.
Behind him, Jesse Litch has come apart. That pitch went all the way behind the batter. Litch has made 2 errors here tonight, and obviously he's lost command. So now they're runners at second and third, and Bruce Walton is on the phone to the bullpen. Carlos Villanueva appears to be getting ready to start warming up.
Infield has to come in once again. Last time Upton played the ball through. Make the ball go through, so just catch it and get it out now. That's what that speed, and you just don't know what you're going to do on the bases does to the defense.
Yeah, everybody's on eggshells now on the infield. You don't know what's going to happen. Pop back over the seats. Carlos Villanueva starting to loosen up. He's the long man, and he's been great. He has done a heck of a job. It's one that doesn't get much credit, and you'd like to see him not pitch an awful lot, because that means your starter's getting hit early.
Right. But when he has come into games, when the starter gets knocked out early, he has really stabilized the game.
Broken bat into right field. Upton's tagging. Bautista's got a good arm. Here's the throw to the plate, right on line, but not in time to get Upton. Now they called timeout, and they went to appeal at third base, but third base umpire is going to say he did not leave early. Bautista made a good throw.
Yeah, leads the team in outfield assists with 3. Sets himself, but it's just deep enough, and Upton can really run.
Throw is right on line, and by the time Aaron Sevia catches the ball, Upton slid across home. So back-to-back 3-run innings, and Elliott Johnson has 3 RBI. Upton has scored 2 runs. inside. Ball on the strike, one out. Base runner at second is KOTCHMAN. KOTCHMAN had an infield base hit to first. Moved to second on a wild pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner. Well, the Blue Jays are going to extend their 6-game winning streak. They've got some work to do.
And the way Hellickson is pitching, they really have a lot of work to do. Hellickson looks very sharp, although he's on a pitch count tonight. We'll talk about that next inning.
Jaso fouls it off.
It's been a long inning, so Hellickson is up and he's trying to get himself loose, stay loose. Just one out here in the top of the third inning.
Tampa Bay, first place club in the American League East after a 1-8 start. Arancibia going to go up to the mound now.
You know, I don't care what the cast of characters are. You know, if you have a winning attitude and you play the game the right way, you're going to win. And I think that's the atmosphere that Joe Maddon has built in Tampa. For so many years they were terrible, just awful, and had all these great draft picks, but it wasn't until Joe Maddon, Dave Martinez got there that they got an attitude of winning.
Ball is popped up into shallow center. Rajay Davis is there. Second out of the inning. I agree with that 100%. It's all about how you set your standards, and the yearly approach is to win. And everybody says, well, you can't win in the American League East, and Joe Maddon has never accepted that.
No. Yeah, he says, we're not here just to compete in the American League East. We're here to defend our title and to win it. And it starts in spring training. That's where the culture of winning really starts, in spring training. Remember a couple of years ago when there was the fights going on between the Rays and the Yankees. I think there was a collision at the plate and Cervelli broke his leg, I believe. Elliott
Johnson broke Cervelli's wrist in a collision at the plate.
Okay.
And then Shelley Duncan spiked Iwamura at second, and the fight was on. And that's when the Yankees said, well, the Tampa Bay should know their place.
Yeah. And the Tampa Bay's response was, hey, we're playing clean, hard baseball, just trying to win, spring training or not. I always hated that. Well, it's just spring training. Well, it's a baseball game. People are trying to win jobs and make an impression on their organization.
Yeah, it's all about a mindset, how you play the game. Another pop-up behind shortstop. Escobar backpedaling, and the inning will finally come to an end. Matt Joyce got it started with a 2-run home run. Then the Blue Jays threw it around. Back-to-back 3-run innings. It's 6-0 Tampa Bay.
Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Well, the Blue Jays have their work cut out for them. They've dug themselves a 6-0 hole here in the first of 2 against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay lost last night to the Yankees 6-2. They split their 2-game series with New York. The Yankees were on the verge of a 7-game losing streak. Alex Rodriguez hit 2 home runs against Tampa Bay. So it'll be 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays here to face Jeremy Hellickson.
You're almost at his mercy there. You're down by 6 runs, and you don't want to be swinging at the first pitch. You want to make him work, and he throws a fastball right there. Nothing you can do about that.
Two 2-0. Hellickson falls behind the leadoff batter, shaking his head. He's been staked to a 6-0 lead. That's the last thing he wants to do. Put Davis on. Big swing at that slider. Hellickson not giving in.
Yeah, he'll throw you any pitch at any time, and he's got 3 that he can throw over for strikes.
1 ball and 2 strikes. I think it's 2-1. I think he missed the first 2 pitches. It was 1-2 indeed. There's a changeup for a strikeout. 5 strikeouts now for Jeremy Hellickson, and the changeup continues to baffle Blue Jays.
He's used his changeup very effectively in this ball game. It's almost like the ball is there, you start to swing, and it stops and goes down.
So Jason Nix will get his first at bat since April 22nd. Actually, in that game, he didn't even get to the plate. He started in the game against Hellickson and then was removed after the hard slide at second. He was taken out on a very hard but clean slide by Sean Rodriguez. Suffered a bruised shin, had to be placed on the disabled list. This is his first game back.
Was playing down in Dunedin, down in A-ball. There's Sean Rodriguez with the aggressive slide, and the player who came in to replace him ended up being the hero of the game.
John McDonald came in defensively in the top of the second and then hit a 2-run home run off Adam Russell in the bottom of the 10th. He was swinging a hot bat when he got hurt.
Making great plays at third base. Hitting some big home runs. Hellickson's been hot over his last 4 starts. He's been undefeated with an ERA under 2. Doing exactly what we have been seeing so far this evening.
I mean, you know it's coming and you can't do anything about it because he sells it so effectively with that good arm speed. It looks like a fastball coming out of his hand and the ball never gets there.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the sound mechanics that he has. Very effortless delivery. He repeats it. Throws that changeup out of the same arm slot as his fastball.
Ground ball up the middle. Johnson behind second base. Good play by Elliott Johnson to get Nix 2 down. Sounded like he broke his bat.
He's been guessing right when to throw his fastball with 2 strikes. This looked like a fastball, and it got it on the inner half, and I think it did break the bat of Jason Nix. So the only batter to reach so far has been Jose Bautista.
And he hit a rocket off the glove of Evan Longoria past the third baseman. First time through the order, 5 strikeouts for Jeremy Hellickson. Escobar takes a first pitch strike. Following a strike with 2 outs, we are in the 3rd. Hellickson has pitched ahead, used his command very effectively. Going to see a lot of funny swings tonight as the Blue Jays are trying to counteract that changeup.
trying to gauge the ball in some defenseless swings.
Hellickson truly in the driver's seat so far. Bouncing ball to short. Easy inning for Jeremy Hellickson. A 3-up, 3-down inning. He's retired 7 straight. He has a comfortable lead of 6-0. Jesse Litch back. Got to believe this is the worst 3-inning stretch you have seen from your ball club this season.
You know, given the stretch we've just come off of, Buck, I would agree with you. You know, we haven't had command of the strike zone, and we've been shoddy on defense, to say the least.
Hellickson is awfully tough. What are you telling the hitters when they go up there?
Well, the tough thing is, Tabby, as you know, the changeup that he has is a well above average pitch, and our guys aren't getting a good read at it. And you see the swing throughs and really slowing the bat down against us.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
A very honest John Farrell, and tough time to talk about his ball club, but it has been a tough 3-inning stretch. Jesse Litch has not had command of the pitches, and the defense behind him has thrown it around to the tune of 4 errors.
Yet when you don't strike people out, and Litch doesn't have any strikeouts through 3 innings, you've got to play good defense. You've got to jump ahead. He's hit a couple of batters, he's walked a couple of batters, and then you add in those 4 errors, and it's not pretty.
Well, it really got off to a great start when you look back to the first inning and the double play by Jason Nix. Said, okay, this is what we need. Got Jesse Litch out of that first inning jam. It could have been worse in the first inning. First and second, no 1 out, and Jason Nix speared a line drive off the bat of Longoria and turned it into an inning-ending double play. Two balls and a strike to Ben Zobrist leading off the 4th. Pulls that cutter foul. We will be joined by the Senior VP of Baseball Operations and General Manager Alex Anthopoulos when we come back after this half inning. He'll give us an update on some of the youngsters in the minor leagues and about Eric Thames and why it was Eric Thames to be promoted at this time, and also we'll talk about the upcoming draft. Tampa Bay and the Blue Jays have an abundance of picks in the early rounds of the draft, and it'll be interesting to see his take and how that draft is coming around. But Tampa Bay, because they have lost so many free agents, have extra picks in the early rounds. And Zobrist is having a tough time with that cutter inside.
Just like the Blue Jays have lost a lot of players. They have a lot of extra picks.
Blue Jays get picks for Kevin Gregg and Scott Downs when they signed as free agents elsewhere. Of course, Tampa Bay lost Carl Crawford and lost Carlos Pena, Rafael Soriano, Joaquin Benoit. All of those would get them extra picks in the draft. Jesse Litch is staying right in his kitchen, isn't he?
You better. You better stay right in there and make him fight that ball off. They got a catcher from Colorado, the Blue Jays, that they let go, didn't offer arbitration.
Miguel Olivo.
And they got a draft.
They got an extra pick for Miguel Olivo. They also got a pick, I believe, for John Buck.
That's right.
Yep. Lots of extra picks, and the Blue Jays certainly need to add to the inventory. Quite a battle going on here as Obrist is not giving in on that inside half of the plate. 8 pitches during the at-bat. Jesse Litch behind 6-0 here in the 4th inning. Then also talked to Alex Anthopoulos about some of the other players that are coming along in the minors, and Brett Lawrie continues to improve and put up big numbers in AAA, his first year in AAA. Obrist fouls another one off. It's a full count. Anthony Gose, who was targeted by Alex Anthopoulos in the Roy Halladay deal, did not come to Toronto in that deal. He came in a later deal with the Houston Astros, but Anthopoulos eventually got all 3 players he wanted in exchange for Roy Halladay. Obrist skies it to right. Bautista has a beat on it. 1 out after a long battle. Speaking of that trade with Houston, Blue Jays will see one of their former players, Brett Wallace, over the weekend when the Astros come to town. Brett Wallace is swinging a hot bat right now.
Saw him go deep the other day at opposite field. That was the player that they gave up to get Gose.
Playing first base for the Astros. Johnny Damon's had an infield base hit. Well, he fouls this ball off. Tampa Bay series is a 2-gamer. Astros will be here beginning on Friday night, May 20th, 7:07 start. Saturday and Sunday, both afternoon games. They begin at 1:07. You can log on to BlueJays.com for tickets. Or call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 or stop by most Rogers Plus locations first weekend of interleague play. The Houston Astros in town. Damon chases that high fastball. It's 2-2.
We'll get to see Brett Myers in that series. Wandy Rodriguez. Nuri Rodriguez, a youngster, will throw on Friday. We'll also get a chance to watch Brandon Morrow and Kyle Drabek, and I just love when those two take the mound, what they bring.
Drabek coming off his win in Detroit. Johnny Damon pokes it down the left field line. Corey Patterson over, but it's a foul ball. The Astros will be in town for the weekend, and then Blue Jays will go into New York for a short 3-game series against the Yankees. Kyle Drabek pitched very well against the Tigers on Monday night. And still battling that problem with touch and feel. Cold night in Detroit. He had a lot of problems with his command. He would eventually walk 6, but held the Tigers just 3 hits.
Did you see who else walked 6 that night? Cliff Lee. Same night.
A bad night for strike zones. I think Matt Suzaka walked 7 that night, but he had elbow problems, and after that went on the DL. Full count to Johnny Damon. Damon has a pair of hits. Waited out Jesse Litch and got a good fastball and ripped it into right.
Continuing to do what he does against Jesse Litch. Coming into this game, he was 7 for 17 against Jesse. A couple more knocks. The second base hit of the night.
Johnny Damon now has 2,610 hits. Longoria jumps on the first pitch, but he's out in front.
So what do you think? 3 more years for Damon? This one and 2 more?
Yeah, probably take that many, won't it?
He's in great shape.
Yeah, he takes great care of himself and certainly would like to be able to take a shot at 3,000 hits. There he goes. Aaron Sebia bobbles the ball. Tried to rush his exchange and couldn't come up with the baseball. Johnny Damon's a perfect 6 for 6 in steals.
Pitcher really bearing down on that hitter.
So he takes off, and Arancibia tried to go a little bit too quickly. That's part of his game that he has been working on right there, the catch and throw. Trying to find a good spot and a good stance to come throwing from.
Longoria let that high breaking ball go. He gets his timing down in another week or 10 days. He'll hack at that pitch, trying to knock it out of the ballpark.
What I love about him is he's got power to all fields. Can hit the ball the other way with authority. You throw him inside and he'll yank it to left field.
Got underneath that one. Patterson has plenty of room. Damon is halfway at short. He won't tag, and Longoria is retired. Longoria just got underneath that, and that's the aspect of his timing that's just lacking.
Yeah, you're right. That was a pitch that was right there. He knows it too. Instead of getting under it, he'll get through it in another couple of weeks.
Matt Joyce, 2-run homer already tonight. He also has walked. He has scored 2 of the Rays' 6 runs. Blue Jays have committed 4 errors on defense tonight. The last time they have done that was last June at Philadelphia. Committed 4 errors on June 27th. ENCARNACION was charged with an error. Jesse Litch has committed 2 errors, and Bautista got a tough error when his throw literally hit the bag at second and bounced away. Ball on the strike to Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce is just 26 years old. He grew up in the Tampa Bay area, went to a very good football high school, Armwood High School. It's been a Florida State Championship football team for a couple of years. He didn't play football, but that's where he got his baseball background, and went as a 12th round pick of the Tigers in 2005.
Sale only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Matt Joyce, just like Jesse Litch, went to a lot of Rays games as a kid growing up in that St. Pete area. Reaches for this one and pokes it down the left field line. Corey Patterson over in fair ground makes the catch. Joyce is retired, and the Rays are out of the 4th inning. When we come back after this half inning, the GM, Executive Vice President Alex Anthopoulos, will join us and give us an update on his team. We're pleased to be joined now by the Senior Vice President of Baseball Operations and General Manager, Alex Anthopoulos. And Alex, we just spoke to John Farrell from the dugout about the game so far, and he said, yeah, this is a tough stretch of ball game. What was your reaction to watching the Blue Jays throw it around a little bit?
Yeah, same thing. Anytime you kick the ball around, you make some errors, tough to watch. That's one thing if a guy's having a bad start and he's getting knocked around, that's one thing. But I think it's always harder to watch when you're not making plays defensively.
Edwin Encarnacion's had a tough night at first base, but basically he's a third baseman. And how important does that bring back into focus Aaron Lindis to this team?
No, there's no question. Obviously, a night like tonight, he's definitely having a rough night. You know, he's had a rough year offensively, defensively. Just things haven't gone well for him. We really thought at the end of last year he started swinging the bat. The health looked good in the spring. And like anything, you know, you hope and you always expect players to come out of it. But when it rains, it pours, and we're just right now, you know, we just haven't had a good night, and maybe we can mount a comeback here late.
Corey Patterson pulls the foul. Eric Thames has been called up from the minors. Obviously got off to a great start. You had some options down there, of course. Travis Snyder is there. He's been with you already. Why Eric Thames at this point?
Well, actually, first thing I'll say is, how about the first hack he took? That was a hellacious swing. Good Lord.
We were talking
wow.
Probably the hardest swing for a new player from
the Blue Jays. Oh, my God. He was trying to hit that about 20 miles.
Corey Patterson hits one to the wall in left center. He's going around second, headed for third. And he will get there with the slide. Lead-off triple for Corey Patterson, and that's the start to a comeback. So Patterson's aboard with the triple, his third of the season. And Eric Thames, obviously, he's gotten off to a great start. And why we talk about timing of when to bring a guy up. What made you confident this was the right move for Eric at this time?
Well, the big thing was, especially in Vegas, that whole team started out extremely well, swinging the bats. He had a lot of guys hitting 400 and so on. And we wanted, early on, it's easy to put up those numbers. For a lot of young guys, Brett Lawrie included, it was their first time at through the league. We knew that everyone that was going to face them was going to adjust when they step into the box hitting 400, and we wanted to see second time around how they would adjust. So Eric and Brett both slumped a little bit and came back down to earth, and now it's a question of, do they make adjustments? Do they bounce back? And Brett certainly starting to do that, and Eric certainly did as well. He, you know, got into a little bit of a funk, and then he clawed his way out of it, and that's what we needed to see. And you know, we had a need with Adam going on the DL, and we think Eric certainly deserves a look.
Jose Bautista. 2 balls and no strikes.
So part of it also is left-handed hitting, the need for left-handed hitting to balance out the lineup.
Certainly. I mean, it was, you know, the ability that, again, he can go play left field for us. Obviously, he's had some DH time there. It was the best fit, but the fact that he is left-handed didn't hurt him. But the performance, the numbers, everything he's done, he's had a very good year. I know it's a small sample size, but we felt it was a good time to call him up.
What'd you tell him when he got here?
Oh, you know what? I went, you know, they'd been traveling and running around. I just went over, I shook his hand, reiterate to him that, look, it's not that it's hard, it's easy to get here, but it's a lot easier to get here than it is to stay here. So I said, don't get so caught up, and, you know, and I said, don't get caught up in trying to change things. If you have to make an adjustment down the road, do it, but right now, stick with what you've been doing. Don't try to do too much, and realize this is a marathon. It's not a race. It's not about tonight. It's not about tomorrow night. It's about staying here and having a long career.
Let's take a look at the farm report now, and if you would, comment on each of these 3 young minor leaguers.
Sure. First, Brett Lawrie. I'm thrilled with the progress he's made. You know, irrespective of the numbers, we talked to Brett about being a little more selective at the plate. Not necessarily trying to draw walks, but being selective about what he was going to swing at, because he chased a lot out of the zone, and it's almost like you ask him to do something at the drop of a hat. He did it, and the adjustment he's made the last week or so has been incredible. So we want to see if he can keep doing this. We think he can. Defensively, he's been great. Anthony Gose.
There's a ground ball to third, second for 1, back to first. It's not in time. Hills aboard, and the Blue Jays are on the scoreboard.
But Gose is someone that, again, got off to a slow start. He's 20 years old in AA. He's incredibly young. We all saw him in spring training. We forget how young he is, but he's really started to come on the last few games. He's raised his batting average. All of his rates from last year in the High Florida State League. His walk rate is up. His strikeout rate is down. His batting average is higher. The quality of his at-bats has been outstanding. And Sal Fasano's writing those game reports each day, and they keep reading about web gems in the outfield, throws, and so on. And then Deck McGuire's really started to turn it on. Tony LaCava, our assistant GM, just saw his last start. Instead, he looked outstanding. He was pouring in strikes with a plus slider and a good curveball and changeup. And we're excited about Deck. He's first year out of pro ball. 10 career starts, and he said he looked great. He was up to 93 and just really mowing him down.
Do you put timetables on those guys to get to the big leagues, or do you put timetables on them saying, you know what, we're going to go one step at a time? Do you like to move guys in season?
You know, we've talked about that. We have what we call planned moves, and we try to do it where we take the emotion out of it. So in the winter, we talk about where guys are going to start and try not to be influenced.
Throw to second base, not in time. Hill steals it. So when you're down by 5, you don't sit back. JOYCE's throw was high and late.
7 for 7 now, Aaron Hill, and stealing bases.
Well, he gets a good jump in. You can see the throw. He's peeking over his shoulder. Good to see him healthy again, and he's such an important bat for your lineup, Alex.
No doubt. And, you know, he was swinging the bat well before he got hurt in that Boston series, and had a nice final game there in Detroit, hitting some balls hard. So hopefully we can get him going. He's got big upside. Obviously, we know what he's capable of doing, and if we can get Hilly back to the guy he was in 2009, it'll be a huge boost.
You're talking about Deck McGuire, and here's a college kid out of Georgia Tech, and the high A ball is very competitive in the Florida State League. But is there a point where you say, okay, it's now time to challenge him and move him to Double A?
No doubt, and I think at all levels, whether you're calling them up here or another, you want to move them when they're hot, when they're feeling good about themselves, when they're confident, when they're on a roll. And you like to do that when you call guys up here. You want them in the right frame of mind. Or there may be something that you want them to work on. The slider's not there, that once they get the slider, then you'll move them to New Hampshire. With Deck right now, we just want to see him pitch, build some confidence. Obviously, he's doing well. Chad Jenkins the same way. And at some point, if they keep performing the way they do, they'll get moved up to New Hampshire.
But there has to be a spot for him, yes?
Yes. And you know what? We'd be doing really well if we had 5 really stud prospects in the rotation in New Hampshire. We have some guys we like. But certainly we have room, and you make room for the guys that you really feel have a chance to impact the club. So Henderson Alvarez just got moved up there. He's going to make a start in the next 2 days, I believe, if they don't get rained out. And hopefully Deck and Chad Jenkins will get moved up there soon, too.
Another guy we saw in the spring, and you sent him back to Double A, was Zach Stewart. How is Zach Stewart progressing?
You know, he's doing all right. He's had some good starts, bad starts. Not where he was at the end of last season when he really started to throw well. I remember Pat Henkin was telling me in spring training, Frank Menachino, who obviously worked with us, was with the Yankees in Trenton. He said they were more concerned with facing Zach Stewart in the playoffs than they were Kyle Drabek, which is pretty telling. But Zach's still building up and been inconsistent. But tonight I know he's, last I checked, it was 2 innings and 3 strikeouts, and he was throwing well. But, you know, he's someone that we're hoping can get on a roll, get hot. And he's a guy that we would consider as a call-up here.
I know Pat Henkin has a favorite down there. You don't hear much about it. It's Mike Hutchinson. And he pitched for you in the spring and looked very good.
No, he was great. Andrew, we took him late in the draft. It was a great job by our scouting department. That was, you know, John Milan's pick. And I know our scouting coordinator, Ryan Middleman, really thought he was a talented kid. He's done well for us.
3 outs. Can you stay another half inning for us? Okay, Alex will be back when we come now, and it's time for an update. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio here at Rogers Center. draft, and both of these ball clubs, the Rays and the Blue Jays, have an abundance of first-round picks. When you look at the top picks in the 80 slots, Tampa Bay has 11, Toronto has 7, and Alex Anthopoulos, I guess you really got to make sure you do your homework and pick the right 7 guys with those top picks.
There's no question. We just had great scouting meetings down in Florida. I just got back, and Andrew Tinish and his staff set up a great set of meetings. We had all our area scouts from the South come in and present their players, go over video, look at reports, look at stats, talk about makeup and so on, and really try to line things up. We really, at this point, we've talked about players with the 21st pick that we have, but we don't really have a front runner because we don't know who's going to get to us.
It's interesting. Do you have an organizational philosophy of the best athlete or a pitcher or a positional need in mind when you head into this draft?
No, we don't go with positional need because, again, it's not the NBA, it's not the NFL where these kids are going to come right to the big leagues. They're probably 3 years, 4 years away, and a lot can change. Health, guys get hurt, guys don't perform, so you take it, you have a second baseman you like or a third baseman you like, and no matter who you have, you still draft those players. But philosophy-wise, we're trying to get high ceiling guys, and again, with that comes risk. So you're trying to manage your risk and not go too crazy and be reckless about it. But I talk to our staff, we're hoping with that 21st pick, this is a guy that's going to be here for 10 years. This is a guy we're going to want to extend at some point. That's what we have to be able to dream on this guy, that he has the ability to be. If we're just going to say solid big league player, he's going to get there, he'll be a good productive player for you, well, that isn't good enough. This is our one shot in the first round to really get an impact guy, because from my standpoint, they're hard to trade for. And that's what I talk about to our scouts.
Do you lean towards high school players then when you talk about high ceiling or junior college guys?
I think it depends where you're drafting. I think obviously earlier in the draft, the best college players, the highest ceiling ones, go a lot of times in the top 10 picks, maybe in the top half of the first round. As you get later in the draft, and now we're picking 21, it may be one of those things that you're going high school because it's like buying a stock that hasn't popped yet. And you may have your best chance, you pick 21 of that kid that if he went to school might be the top pick on the draft or a top 5 pick. So when it's not by design, but the later you pick, in my opinion, it opens up the high school ranks a little bit more.
When you think about some of the impact players around the league right now, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, they're high school players, B.J. Upton and Justin Upton, both high school players. But then you have Mark Teixeira, somebody like that, who's been a college player, and you just can't really identify one way or another which is the right approach.
Certainly, and that's, a lot of the top college position players do go early, whether it's Longoria, Tulowitzki, Ryan Braun, Ryan Zimmerman. Those guys are all top 5, top 7, top 8 picks. As you get later, again, because if you have a high school player and a college player and they're both very good, you know more about the college guy. He's been away to school, he's a little bit older, you know more about his health, more about the maturity. So it's a safer pick, but there's also ceiling.
Elliot Johnson's had some night as he hits the ball all the way to the gap in left center and ends up with a 2-out triple.
Is the draft deep this year? I've heard there's some good players out there.
Very deep, and it's the more meetings I'm sitting in on, it's amazing how many. I guess there's a lot of power arms in this draft, a lot of high school arms that are in there. So there's no question. It seems like a deeper draft. I think when people talk about how great the draft is and it's one of the best drafts in a long time, it seems to me because it looks like there's that impact in the top 10 picks. Those top 10 picks, and I don't wish we picked there because that means we wouldn't have played as well. But if I had the ability to have that type of pick, there's some players in there that could be franchise players for quite a bit of time. So that's exciting, and but it is certainly a deep draft.
That's an interesting point, and I'm going to ask you this just theoretically. Would you like to see baseball go to the other sports where you could trade up to a draft pick if you have somebody that you see in the top 5 rounds?
I certainly would. I just think it opens up a lot of avenues. It's so hard to get better. It's hard to get players and get talent. The more options you have to be creative, to get deals done, it's hard to make trades. So the more you have available to you, it's a factor. I know that with guys that have draft pick compensation and trade that are free agents, that impacts our thought process when weighing what we can get back in return. So if there's a way to trade up and get a pick, especially if you have an eye on a certain guy, I'd love to be able to do it.
The Cleveland Cavaliers traded up to protect the lottery draft, and they got a number 3 and a number 1 now because they won the lottery. So the ability to trade for draft picks seems like something baseball should consider.
I think it'd be exciting. I know that the argument against it is that agents might control the draft in doing that.
Alex, thank you very much for your time, and good luck in your efforts in the draft.
Okay, appreciate it, guys.
All right. That's Alex Anthopoulos, and we'll be back to Rogers Center. Tampa Bay leads 6-1.
Comfort Zone is Paul the Intern from MTV Live. The TD Comfort Zone is brought to you by TD. Front row seats, and hopefully the rest of the night for Paul the Intern will turn around in the Blue Jays' favor. They've gotten on the board. They trail now 6-1, as it's been a rough start for Jesse Litch. He seemed to have sorted himself out in the 4th and 5th. Now he looks to his hitters. Eric Thames in his second big league at bat. Very, very informative update from Alex Anthopoulos, the Senior VP Baseball Operations and General Manager. Covered a lot of issues.
Talked about a lot of the young players, and it's always great to hear from the general manager about some of the young kids that are coming up through the organization. It's the lifeblood of your team.
2-0. Big swing and a foul back. Isn't it interesting? He had the same reaction to Eric Thames' first swing as we did.
Came out of his shoes.
That might have been the hardest first swing of a major league career. One thing about Eric, he's not half-stepping.
No, not feeling his way up there. You know, when young kids come up there, they think, you know, you get to the big leagues and they throw so much harder, and, you know, everybody's so much bigger. And it's just that the guys just know how to play the game just a little bit better than they do in AAA.
Consistency, I think, is a big difference. Consistent ability to command the strike zone. 3-1 pitch. Foul back.
I remember my first game, I thought, gosh, they're going to throw, you know, 105 miles an hour, and they're going to paint the ball on the outside part of the plate every single time, and that's not the case. So,
might happen a little more frequently than you saw in the minors, but nobody throws 120. Full count. Bottom of the 5th inning, Blue Jays trailed by 5. Leadoff walk. Eric Thames came out of the Pacific Coast League. He was at AAA Las Vegas, and Kansas City Royals have their team in Omaha, also in the Coast League. Mike Moustakas was the minor league player of the year last year, and these are the comparative numbers for the two players this season. Moustakas has 8 home runs compared to 6, but look at the difference in the batting average, and this was Thames' first experience of AAA baseball.
Yeah, Moustakas, widely regarded as one of the better minor league players in all of baseball, having a little transition trouble to AAA.
Thames is a decent base runner. He had 3 steals in 5 attempts. I wouldn't expect him to run here in this situation with Davis at the plate.
That's right. Blue Jays need base runners right now, especially the bottom of the order. Get a couple of guys on, turn that lineup over, put together a couple of base hits, and you're going to be right back in it.
The other hand, if you're counting on Jeremy Hellickson walking guys, you can forget that. He doesn't walk anybody, so maybe they will play hit and run here at the bottom of the order, trying to get something going.
We'll watch his pitch count. We were talking earlier about his pitch count being right around 100 to 105 tonight.
Davis goes after first pitch. Last time out, Jeremy Hellickson threw his first career major league complete game shutout. He beat the Orioles 3-0 on 4 hits. Through 120 pitches. That was a career high, so that's why Joe Madden wants to be conservative with his pitch count tonight.
And Joe was saying that I don't want to see him go up to 110 plus following that 120. He says, I just want to watch him.
Well, you want to make sure he doesn't labor, and I don't know how you'd tell if he was laboring. He's got such a smooth delivery, and he's been able to command both sides of the plate.
I don't think pitch count really matters the style that he is as a pitcher. A lot of change-ups, some off-speed pitches. You see him, you're right, it's not a maximum effort type of delivery. He uses his legs well, but he's got great arm action.
Right back up the middle off the end of the bat. That's booted by Zobrist into center. Thames goes over to third base. There's a break.
And the Tampa Bay Rays don't give you breaks. The best fielding team percentage-wise in Major League Baseball. 8 errors in their last 27 games coming into this one, and this could open the door. Zobrist tries to go a little bit too quick.
Ball was hit right off the end of the bat, and you can bet it had a lot of spin on it. Once it hit that artificial surface, it kicked off the outside of Zobrist's glove. It is an error on the second baseman, and the Blue Jays will take it.
See during the lawn and garden sale, only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Jim Hickey out to help his young right-hander regroup a bit. And he's encouraging the infield. Hey, let's make a play here. Believe me, Tampa Bay has the ultimate respect for Toronto and their abilities to come back, and they're looking no further than third spot in that lineup.
Get a couple of on, get a couple of in. And next thing you know, you got the tying run to the plate. Joe Maddon has a lot of respect for the way that the Blue Jays are playing ball this year. Never out of it. A lot like his team. Battle you right to the end.
Second error of the season for Ben Zobrist. Jason Nix, the third baseman, batting in a ninth spot. Ground ball. This could be two. Johnson will go to the bag for one. Back to first, double play. Eric Thames comes across with the run. It's now a 6-2 ball game, but those are two big outs for Tampa Bay.
Pitcher's best friend right there. Trading out for two outs for a run. Just kills a rally.
That's what you would call a very efficient meeting by the pitching coach. Hey, come out here. I'm going to come out here. Now throw a ground ball to the shortstop and let's end this threat. Jim Hickey must be pleased with the way that Hellickson made a good quality pitch. Got the double play. So they're two out, back to the top of the order. You know, Escobar trying to extend his 8-game hit streak. Both Patterson and Bautista have extended theirs to 9 gamers. One area of concern for the Rays has been their bullpen. That was the 68th pitch thrown by Hellickson, and we're in the 5th inning. So you would imagine the Blue Jays are going to get into Joe Maddon's bullpen here at some point tonight.
And it makes the Blue Jays bullpen that important, just to keep it at 6 runs for Tampa Bay. They do that, give them a chance to come back in this ball game.
High breaking ball, just the top of the strike zone. It evens the count of 2-2. You can see even when Hellickson throws a bad breaking ball, and I consider that a bad breaking ball because he's got so many different options, Blue Jays hitters are off balance. Out in front, popped up into the outfield. Left fielder is over, Sam Fole, and B.J. Upton ran right over the top of him. It looked like Fole caught it. Lack of communication, but they're able to get out of it. Looks like Jesse Litch's night has come to an end. The bullpen will come in, try to keep it a 4-run game. Carlos Villanueva 6 runs, 5 earned runs. He walks 3, also hit a couple of batters. And look at the pitch count, just entirely too many pitches over the course of 5 innings of work.
Ties his season high, the same amount he threw in 5 innings at Seattle. So defense let him down a little bit tonight. So he will turn it over to Carlos Villanueva, and he's been outstanding so far for the Blue Jays this year. 22 1/3 innings pitched, tied for second most in the American League. He has been the man that John Farrell has called on for the most part when the starter gets knocked out early, and he has responded.
Opposition is batting 129 against Villanueva.
When you watch him pitch, he will remind you of Jeremy Hellickson. Fastball, curveball anytime for a strike, changeup anytime for a strike. So that could also bode well for if they want to move a guy into the starting rotation.
There was some thought that Villanueva might make a spot start earlier in the season. He has started in the past when he was in Milwaukee, made 9 starts a couple of years ago. 2 balls and a strike to Sam Fuld. He shows bunt and pops it back out of play.
But what a valuable arm to have down in your bullpen.
And you know what? It's very difficult to find a long man like Villanueva. Generally, you have to find a former starter, somebody that can go extra innings. But for the last couple of years, the Blue Jays bullpen has been full of 1-inning guys. And that is really difficult when your pitcher goes 5 innings. You don't want to use 4 different relievers. On the ground through the left side for a base hit. Sam Fuld's aboard. Fuld is 1 for 4 now.
And that'll stop his 7-game hitless streak. Pokes a ball to the left side. Ball's up.
You've talked about it often, how the difference between up and down allows hitters to put the ball in play, and that was a perfect example.
Ball right. You can see the ball better when it is up, but you don't have to go and reach for it if it was down, especially away.
Yeah, it would have been a tough ball to put into play had he thrown it on the corner of the plate and gotten it down. Villanueva is concerned about Fuld, and he should be. He's got 12 steals in 17 attempts. Johnny Damon has a steal tonight. Stole the base back in the 4th. JP Arencibia couldn't dig out the low pitch. And Zobrist takes a strike.
It's a team that just doesn't lay down. I think that's why the Rays are so good at coming back in tight ball games. They just don't give away at bats ever.
I think if you have success in the American League East, as the Rays have, you understand you've got to play a full 9 innings every night. Good quality ball clubs up and down. And with their pitching in the past, last year, of course, they had a terrific bullpen, but they've had to rebuild the entire bullpen. We just saw Joaquin Benoit on Monday night, and he's having a terrible start to his season, but he was a lockdown 8th inning guy ahead of Rafael Soriano.
Golden. They were golden from the 8th inning on last year.
Ground ball, could be 2. Hill to second for 1, back to first. Dug out by Encarnacion. Good job by Encarnacion digging out the low throw. Hill gets it started. Escobar with the pivot, and Encarnacion on the back end.
When you are battling, you've got to turn tough double plays. Fuld goes right into the bag, and that opens up a lane for Escobar to make a throw to first base. The 2 in the middle of the diamond turn a double play, and that certainly helps Villanueva.
42nd ground ball double play turned by the Blue Jays infield. Johnny Damon 2 for 3. There's that good changeup, much like Jeremy Hellickson.
Anytime, anywhere, he'll throw it. He's not afraid to double up on it.
24-year-old Jeremy Hellickson in the driver's seat, pitching like a veteran. There's a good fastball. Back and forth with velocity, in and out with location, back and forth with velocity. Villanueva does it very effectively.
I like how John Farrell talked about pitchers who throw changeups as like they're throwing a yo-yo at you.
What a good inning for Villanueva. He continues to dominate hitters. Hitters are hitting under $120 against Carlos Villanueva, trying to keep his ball club in this game. At the 2011 MasterCard Memorial Cup from Mississauga, Ontario. It all starts May 20th, the MasterCard Memorial Cup. First matchup on Friday night, St. John versus hometown Mississauga. The Memorial Cup right here on Rogers Sportsnet. Well, the Blue Jays pitchers have put up 3 consecutive zeros in an effort to allow the hitters to get back in this ball game. Corey Patterson got it started with a leadoff triple in the 4th. Shows bunt and takes a strike. Patterson extended his hit streak with that triple to 9 games. His career high hit streak is 11. Last time it happened in 2004 when he was a Cub.
Average up to 280. He's also driven in 19 runs.
Sharply hit but foul. He has quietly been an important bat in this lineup. I think he's much more comfortable in left field than he is in center field. And with Rajay Davis healthy again, it's a pretty good outfield with Patterson, Davis, and Bautista left to right.
Yeah, lots of speed. Davis has been covering a lot of ground in center field, and we all know what Bautista can do. But especially when Escobar is on first base, Patterson's been getting a lot of fastballs, and he hasn't been missing them.
Now, too, and that's why John Farrell believes Corey Patterson is really doing well in the 2 spot, because he's hitting ahead of Jose Bautista. Bautista has singled and walked tonight. Base hit. Joyce gets over, cuts it off, and there goes Patterson with his wheels. He'll get to second standing up. Back-to-back extra base hits for Corey Patterson.
The difference between the changeups that we saw from Hellickson at the beginning of the game, the first couple of innings, they were down. Now it's starting to get up there. And I think that's why Joe Maddon's got him on a 100-105 pitch count. This one up and ripped into the corner by Patterson. First inning, everything was down from the knees on down.
10th double of the season. He's also picked up his 3rd triple of the season here tonight. Jose Bautista. Breaking ball just outside. Boy, Bautista, and John Farrell has talked about his ability to adjust from at bat to at bat. Changing his game plan, looking for different pitches.
Sitting on pitches, waiting for that pitcher to make a mistake, and not biting on anything off the plate.
Drill down the left field line, fold over. He's going to get to it and makes the catch. Boy, he got a good jump Sounded like that hit off the end of the bat a little bit. And Sam Fuld got over quickly to snare that line drive.
If he was playing Bautista straight up, he doesn't catch that ball. But he was pulled over to left field and actually had to slow down. That's what scouting reports will do. You see he's already in your picture there from that shot there. That's what scouting reports will do. You saw the infield pulled over. The outfield was pulled over and he hit right into it.
Aaron Hill picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice his last time up. Looks at the pitch down. Hill is hitting in that cleanup spot tonight. Pat, you mentioned some mechanical adjustments. What do you see different about Hill?
Hands are a little bit lower. He likes to start right off of his shoulder now. Free up his hands just a little bit. Better on inside pitches. That looked like a pitch for him to hit right there.
Ball on the strike. Big run at second base, trying to cut into this 4-run deficit. Line to left field. That ball is deep. That ball is off the wall. Patterson will come around third. He'll score, and Aaron Hill will end up at second with an RBI double.
Aaron Hill has such good hands when he's hitting. When he is short, compact, and lets the ball get to him, he can jump all over mistakes. Watch the reaction from Jeremy Hellickson. He thinks he gave it up. But there was too much top spin on the ball, and it came down. It ended up being an RBI double for Hill, but the timing was perfect.
It's a 3-run game. Edwin Encarnacion caught looking at strike 3 his last time. Lays off the breaking ball. Boy, Corey Patterson continues to score runs. 2 more runs scored tonight. A couple of extra base hits. Aaron Hill with 2 ribbies. He has 16 now.
They put him in that cleanup spot for that reason. They want to get a little bit more consistent production from the middle 3 batters of this lineup.
Out in front, popped it up. Longoria at third. Encarnacion's retired, 2 down. That off-speed pitch had Encarnacion out on that front foot. Again, just pick up the base runners when you can. Elevate that pitch count. Get into their bullpen.
And take a chance late in the ball game, but the bullpen's got to hold him.
We're in the 6th inning. Hellickson has thrown 83 pitches. Joe Madden's magic number was 100. He said between 100 and 105. That's as far as I want to go with Hellickson.
2 out RBIs will get that pitch count up.
JP Arencibia. Set an outside fastball. Joe Madden with his bench coach Dave Martinez contemplating Hellickson's position in this lineup. Bounced. Boy, Zobrist saved Hellickson as he was very tentative with that throw. Seemed like he didn't want to throw it.
Juan Cruz is up and getting loose very quickly. That inside move by the Rays have been very effective. If he came around quickly, he had a shot at getting Aaron Hill at second base.
Jim Hickey has joined Joe Madden on the rail, keeping a close eye on Hellickson. Not going after that changeup as frequently as they did early.
They're making the adjustments. Aaron Hill has done it. Now Arencibia is starting to do it, reading it out of his hand. If you're going to sit 2-0 fastball right now, look for it.
3-0. Eric Thames on deck. Looks like Hellickson's kind of hit a wall here. Thames in his first big league game has struck out and walked. A 4-pitch walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell for an update.
Number 46, Eric Thames.
Boy, the Cubs have had a tough situation. You see Madden right here. He wants somebody to talk to Hellickson. They're going to try to get a pitcher ready and make sure Cruz is ready to come into this game. And they're trying to stall, seeing if they can get Cruz to the point of being ready. Eric Thames. There's that first pitch changeup. You can see Thames a little smile saying, eh, you got me. Over anxious, thinking after that walk he was going to get a cookie on the first pitch.
It ain't happening. He'll continue to throw that changeup until you start laying off of it.
Face hit into center field. Hill's coming around third. Upton's throw toward the plate is cut off. Eric Thames drives in a run with his first big league hit. It's a 2-run game.
We are standing around the cage today around batting practice, and we were talking about how well his hands come through the strike zone. He's got a very quick bat, a very short swing, and I think that's conducive to a high average. He's hitting 342 in AAA. Watch how he clutches, stays back, and then rips that outside pitch to center field.
Great balance, great extension. What a memory. His first big league hit, drives in a run. Good start to his major league career. He is 1 for 2, driven in a run, scored a run, and walked. Eric Thames has made it a 2-run game. Jeremy Hellickson is out. Juan Cruz is in.
Picked by the Blue Jays back in 2008, did not play that year. He was injured, had some injuries while he was in college. He was going to be a higher draft pick, but he zoomed right through the farm system.
He tore a hamstring muscle early and then had a surgery for that. There's the baseball from his first major league hit, and the obligatory fake toss to the crowd. Eric Thames is from Santa Clara. He went to 2 junior colleges first, and he was at Cabrillo Junior College in Aptos, California. He tore a hamstring muscle and missed most of that season. Then he transferred to West Valley Community College, which is also a junior college. Had a good year there. Transferred to Pepperdine University in Malibu. And all the while, he was targeted as a possible #1 pick. And then at Pepperdine, right at the end of the season, he tore a quad muscle, had surgery, and dropped dramatically in the draft.
Wherever he has gone, though, he has hit. Juan Cruz will take over. Cruz has been in 17 games, a 281 earned run average. When they went out to rebuild their bullpen, the Tampa Bay Rays looked high and low for anybody who could come in and help them. Juan Cruz has been in the big leagues a long time. Pitched for a bunch of different teams, the Chicago Cubs. He possesses a good arm. I was talking to Joe Madden in spring training. He said, keep your eye on Juan Cruz. He's really throwing the ball well for us.
Right now, he's in a jam, and Joe Madden needs some help. 2 outs, 2 on. Blue Jays have scored a pair here in the 6th. Davis cuts on the first pitch and fouls it back. Corey Patterson got it started. He had a leadoff double. Bautista lined to left, and Aaron Hill cashed in Patterson with his RBI double. Aaron Sebia walked. He's at second, and Thames with his first big league hit drove in Hill. He's at first. Rajai Davis came into the game hitting .244. He'd been swinging the bat consistently well. Tonight he has a strikeout, reached on an error. Well, he'd love to deliver a 2-out hit here.
Pitchers have been throwing him a lot of sliders, righties, away when they get to 2 strikes. When he lays off of them, that's when he starts to see his batting average go up.
A lot of confusion here between Cruz and Chaso, and the catcher's going to go out and punt for his relief. You got to believe Chaso wants to stay away from Davis, the way Rajai has chased the pitch on the outer half.
Right-handers just 3 for 30 against Juan Cruz this year. That's how effective he has been. And he's been a strikeout pitcher throughout his career. Good fastball and a good sharp breaking slider. Jeremy Hellickson hanging around to see what his relief corps does.
Hit on the ground. KOTCHMAN at first will toss Cruz covering, and the Blue Jays are retired, but they close ground. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk. It's a 2-run ball game. Eric Thames with his first big league hit drives in a run. Live chats during the game, fantasy pools, and great writing from Shai Davidi, Mike Wilner, and our own Scott Carson. I'll be answering questions on there every week as well. All that and more. Sportsnet.ca. The best stats man in baseball. Scott Carson keeps us all straight, up to date, and gives you all the information you don't get anywhere else. Plus a great column, huh?
He keeps us straight and he keeps us laughing.
He does that. 2 columns a week for Scott Garza on Sportsnet.ca. Check it out. Gives you the inside scoop. Carlos Villanueva, his second inning of work, came up by a base hit, but then got the double play and struck out Johnny Damon. Evan Longoria has hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. There's a slider right on the corner. Villanueva, you've got to admire a guy that can sit around for 5, 6, 7 days and then come in and throw strikes as consistently as he does.
You have to stay sharp. You got to throw on the side, and you have to throw for a purpose, just to keep all of your pitches working.
Got him. Good job by Arencibia. Held it into the webbing of his glove. Second strikeout for Villanueva.
Save during the lawn and garden sale, only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Change up, breaking ball, and now let's go upstairs. See if he will go after it. Longoria certainly does. Tips it into the mitt of Arencibia. He holds on. The whole bullpen has been great,
hasn't it? Yep.
They certainly have. Frank Francisco gave up a home run the other night to Johnny Peralta. That snapped a consecutive scoreless streak of 15 innings.
The Blue Jays bullpen leads the American League in innings pitched and strikeouts. They lead the majors in opponents' batting average. They're holding the opponents to a .202 batting average. That's the best in the big leagues. And you really have to compliment Pat Henkin and Bruce Walton for keeping everybody engaged. It's hard to keep an 8-man pen sharp, and they've done it.
John Farrell was asked today if he anticipates staying with an 8-man bullpen. And the question being, can you find room for him? He says, until our starters start going a little bit deeper on a little bit more consistent basis, I need 8 guys out there. And each one of them has their own job to do, and they know it, and they do a good job.
Now, having been in Farrell's position managing, when you get to the 3rd and 4th inning and you start thinking about having to use your bullpen, boy, that wears on you night after night. But I expect that Romero and Morrow and the starters will be a little more consistent as they get some innings under their belt.
And I think also, with the weather warming up a little bit, I think you're going to see a little bit more consistent starting pitching.
I think that's universal. You'll see that. And you talked about Cliff Lee having 6 walks. Daisuke Matsuzaka walked 7 in his last game. And I think everybody's dealing with poor conditions. How about Villanueva? 3 strikeouts in a row now. He gets Damon, Longoria, and Matt Joyce.
Tough to pick up this one. It's like a backup breaking ball. The timing is messed up to Matt Joyce as he swings right through it.
2 outs here in the 7th. B.J. Upton hit by a pitch, base hit. He has scored 2 runs. Late on a fastball, lifts it down the right side and back into the seats. Boy, this is exactly what you want from Villanueva. 1985, Blue Jays' first division champs. They had a middle reliever named Dennis Lamp. Came out in the middle of the game. Oftentimes, when his club was trailing, he ended up with an 11-0 record. Big part of the reason why the Jays were able to win in 1985.
Just keep pitching. Just do your thing, and your offense will come back and win it for you.
Well, you know, pitchers have personalities as far as how they handle different situations. Dennis Lamp never really fared very well as a closer or a setup guy, but boy, he could pitch lights out in the middle. 0-2 to B.J. Upton. 2 outs. 7th inning of a 2-run game. Tried to get him to chase that high fastball.
With that one guy who is a one-time through the order, and you could get 3 innings out of your middle guy. One time through the order, don't show them too much. Come out, throw a lot of strikes, mix all of your pitches. You do that, before you know it, you're at the tail end of a ball game, and hopefully your offense comes back to help you.
1-2, got him. Threw him a changeup. How about Villanueva?
4 strikeouts in a row. Damon, Longoria, Joyce, and punctuates the 7th, striking out B.J. Upton. He's kept his team in it. Center reaction will begin at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. That's the pregame show. Jays on Sportsnet. Rays and Blue Jays in the series finale. Ricky Romero will go to the mound trying to improve to 500. He's 3-4. He'll be matched up against Wade Davis. Jeremy Hellickson got off to a great start. He had 5 strikeouts through 3 innings, but then the Blue Jays kind of caught up to him. 5 2/3. He was charged with 3 earned runs off 5 hits. They gave up 4 runs, but 3 earned, and now Juan Cruz deals with 9-1-2 in the Blue Jays order. If you don't think that managers pay attention to matchups, Nix is 0 for 1 against Cruz. Escobar 0 for 4. Patterson 0 for 4. Bautista 0 for 1. So he knew that if we got to this point of a ball game and needed somebody to match up against this part of the lineup, it was going to be Cruz.
They have those meetings. They go over situations. They look at the matchups. We talked about the relief pitching of the Rays. They've got a lot of arms out there. It was up to Joe Maddon to figure out how they were going to sort it out, and he's starting to do just that. They are second in hits allowed at 7 per 9 innings. 5th in walks per 9 innings. So they come out throwing strikes, and it's up to the manager to find the right matchups.
Nix pops it up over into foul territory. The catcher, Jaso, lets it fall. Oh, my. What a break. Twice we have seen the Rays give the Blue Jays extra opportunities on defense. Zobrist made an error, and now the pop-up falls untouched.
And that error cost him a run. This is the first baseman's ball if he can get over there. The important thing about this play is the pitcher has to come over and become like a traffic cop. Kind of wave off the first baseman if the catcher's there, and he goes right to him and say, hey, I should have taken that. I thought you said I got it. But if the pitcher can go over there and say, okay, back off, let him have it.
Nix will fire into left field. Full took a step back and now recovers to retire. Jason Nix, first out of the 7th. Now, KOTCHMAN was playing way over off the line. He had a long run, but for some reason, Jaso thought that he heard KOTCHMAN call for it and let the ball fall, but it proves to be a moot point now as Nix flies out to left. Going out in the 7th. Top of the order. Here's where the Blue Jays have been so good during their 6-game win streak. Escobar, Corey Patterson, Bautista have all been
swinging hot bats. Escobar still looking to extend his 8-game hit streak.
But he's taking the walks when he gets them. That's why his on base percentage is up over 360 now. That's why he is up at that top of the batting order.
Two and 0. Good example of what you're talking about. He has a good eye. Going to make Cruz throw it over. Blue Jays trailed 6-0 after 3.5. They added a single run in the 4th, another in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th. Three and 0.
Good eye right there. 2-0, it's not where you want it. Go ahead and take it.
Joe Maddon's thinking, where is that Bautista guy? How far away is he?
When you have players like that who are dynamic offensive players, they're always in the back of your mind.
One out walk on 4 pitches. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. How about that? Hey, Buchholz really stretching things out. Joe Maddon will go to the bullpen, and Cruz will be taken out with 1 out and a man on. Tying run at the plate when we come back. 6-4 Tampa Bay. Corey Patterson. Ramos has pitched well for the Rays. They are going to get J.P. Howe back on Friday. He's the veteran, but
just one left-hander in the bullpen for Joe Maddon. He elects to use him here with the tying run coming to the plate, Corey Patterson. But this could backfire because Corey Patterson's numbers have been pretty good against lefties this year.
He has really hit well against left-handed pitching this year. Hitting over 380 against left-handed pitching. And look at the splits. Very favorable, and Patterson just needs to come through with a base hit.
4 RBIs, but his on-base percentage versus the lefties this year off the charts, up over 400.
1 out, man on. Takes the first pitch strike from Ramos. Ramos came into the ball game yesterday in the 8th inning, gave up a leadoff single to Mark Teixeira, but then got the next 3 batters out. Good breaking ball. Patterson goes after it.
You got to figure that Ramos is only going to face 1 batter, being the left-hander with that guy on deck.
That's where Corey Patterson really has to dig his heels in, and Joe Maddon's hoping for a 1 batter appearance for Ramos and dispatching Patterson. Down and away. Right-hander Joel Peralta is standing by. He is ready. Should Bautista make his way to the plate. 1 out in a 6-4 ball game. Quite a chess match going on here. Escobar reached with the 1-out walk. Bautista on deck. Has a hit and lined out to left. He's also walked. Bounced off the plate. The ball is foul. That would have been trouble for Tampa Bay had it stayed fair.
Yeah, it looked like it was trying to come back. A lot of English on that ball. When it goes off that plate, you don't know where it's going to bounce. JOYCE did a good job of coming out from behind the plate and just smothering that ball. Watch when it bounces right here. It's going to come right back to JOYCE. And he just smothers it and keeps it foul.
Cesar Ramos came to the Rays in the Jason Bartlett trade with the San Diego Padres in the offseason. He's ahead of Patterson, a ball and 2 strikes. 2-2.
And that's one way to rebuild your bullpen. Make a trade like they did against or with San Diego.
They went out and got 3 important parts, including Ramos and Adam Russell, big right-hander. We have seen him a couple of times this year. Good eye. 3-2.
Ramos has been tough on the lefties this year. At 190, Patterson battling him. Not afraid to throw a breaking ball. 3-2. So you got to put that in the back of your mind.
Full count, 1 out. Escobar at first. Ramos thinks he might be running. Would you run him here or hold him?
I would hold him because I want to guarantee that the guy on deck gets to the plate. You don't want to strike him out, throw him out, especially with the left-handed move. You don't want to send him and have a line drive double play. I want to guarantee that my big home run hitter hits this inning.
Full count pitch. Swung on and missed. Patterson strikes out. Look at this. They're going to walk him. Are they going to walk him intentionally? I think Madden's going to walk him.
Watch JOYCE. The defense certainly is moving around.
They're going to walk him.
Yeah.
They were going to walk the tying run with 2 outs in the 7th. Not going to pitch to Jose Bautista.
What was he telling us in his office today?
Not going to let Bautista hurt him.
He's going to put the tying runs on, send the go-ahead run to the plate. A runner in scoring position, and he'll probably bring in the right-hander Peralta to face Hill.
Joe Madden did the same thing with Miguel Cabrera in the Tigers series earlier in the season. Even though there were 2 on and the open base was 3rd, he still considered that he would rather have Cabrera at first base than give him a chance to hit a home run. The same respect is paid to Bautista.
He just knows how he is seeing the ball, and he drove a ball last time up to the wall in left field. Figures he got away with one there, so he's not even going to give him a chance.
So he has Ramos strike out Patterson and then issue the free pass to Bautista. Aaron Hill will bat as the go-ahead run, and he will deal with the bullpen. Joel Peralta, the right-hander, will come in with 2 outs here in the 7th. first. He represents the tying run. Joe Madden didn't hesitate. And here's why.
Yeah, look at all those numbers. This is the major league leader, not the American League leader, the major league leader in average home runs, total base, on base percentage, slugging percentage, on base plus slugging, nighttime hitting. He's number one in nighttime hitting at 446, and he also has the most extra base hits in the American League. So just take the bat out of his hand, take your chance with the guy behind you. Joel Peralta into the game for the 20th time this year. He is a strikeout pitcher, fastball splitter. Right-handers against Peralta hitting just 189, so that's why he brought him in here to face Aaron Hill.
Peralta had a season-high 2 perfect innings on Monday against the Yankees. Aaron Hill doubled his last time up. Off the plate outside.
We've talked about this before, about how important the guy hitting behind Jose Bautista is. You can see why. Managers are going to start just taking the bat out of his hand late in the ball game.
Whether it's Aaron Hill or Adam Lynn, somebody's going to have to deliver a big hit to keep them from pitching around Bautista. Hill is 3 for 8 against Peralta.
Averaging about a strikeout per appearance. Peralta very tough on right-handers.
Popped down the right side. Long run for Joyce. Over near the foul line. Makes a running catch just at the end of his webbing. He got a good break, and Hill is retired. A couple of stranded. Peralta comes out of the bullpen, and look at the effort by Joyce. Extends to end the inning. Tampa Bay leads by 2. Favorite Blue Jays players: Jose Bautista, Yunel Escobar, and Adam Lynn. You can cast your votes at BlueJays.com. Fans are reminded you can vote a maximum of 25 times per email address. Vote early, vote often. The All-Star Game. Send your Blue Jays to Phoenix. If this guy's not the starting right fielder in that All-Star Game, they should call the game off.
And I hope he's not in the home run hitting contest, but we'll talk about that as we get closer to July. Casey Jansen into the game. He has made 16 appearances this year. He's only been scored upon in 2 of them. Jansen has thrown really well. And you talk about matchup, Buck. Casey Jansen so much better against left-handers this season. And we've got a couple of left-handers coming up this inning.
Casey KOTCHMAN and the switch hitter Elliott Johnson, and then the left-hander John Jaso.
And look at the numbers that Elliott Johnson has from the left side. He's hitting under 200. So John Farrell playing the same game that Joe Madden is playing.
Want to put your pitchers in the best possible situations, and that's what Farrell has done with Jansen. It's a 2-run game. Tampa Bay had a 6-0 lead at one point. And credit Villanueva. What a job, Carlos Villanueva. 2 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Tough to take.
I guess it was high.
Reached for by KOTCHMAN. Escobar at short. 1 out. Boy, Yunel Escobar, you talk about somebody that has quietly become most reliable at short. That's Escobar. There's no flash and dash anymore in his game.
Just catch it and make a good throw. The one thing that the Blue Jays tried to instill in Escobar when they came over here said, you've got a great arm, but you don't have to throw it hard every single time. Just play catch with the first baseman.
Bunted right to the first baseman, and Encarnacion quickly steps on the bag. 2 quick outs here for Casey Janssen. Well, you were right on the money with the left-handed batters. 2 up, 2 down. Janssen reminding Encarnacion he'll be there on the ground ball to first. John Jaso, the catcher. Quality pitches. Missed on the first one just off the plate inside. Catches the inside corner with the second one.
Cuts that fastball on the inner half. I think he's doing so much better this year against the left-handers because he can throw the ball on the inside and the outside.
Encarnacion has it skip past him into right field. Edwin Encarnacion's had a tough night. The ball has found him all night long.
Playable ball off the bat. It doesn't have to move. You got to get way down and just smother that ball. Even if you just knock it down, the ball's right in front of you. You can make the play over to first base. Plays it off to the side, and it's going to cost him.
Cost him an error as Jaso's aboard. Second error of the night for Encarnacion. 5th error committed by the Blue Jays. Top of the order, Sam Fuld, another left-handed batter. Fuld is 1 for 4 tonight. Casey Janssen's first inning of work. Looked like it was going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning. Now he has to deal with the top of the order.
Turn that lineup over. Deal with Fuld, and then you've got Zobrist, a very good RBI man, sitting on deck.
A ball on the strike. Ben Zobrist has been shut out tonight. He is 0 for 3 with a walk, hit into a double play in the 6th. Just to make sure that they are on the same page, Aaron Sebia popped out from behind the plate. Casey Janssen doesn't get a lot of recognition, but I'll tell you what, John Farrell appreciates what he brings to this bullpen. He throws strikes. He's very efficient. He can pitch every day. And he handles lefties equally as well as righties.
That's one thing that you look for also, where you don't have to burn lefties. Can a righty get left-handed batters out? And he has certainly shown that he can do that. He can give you multiple innings also. He's not just a one-inning guy.
First came to the Blue Jays as a starter back in 2006. Made 17 starts. Missed all of the 2008 season. Defensive hack by Full.
That's the pitch, I think, for Jansen that has helped him against lefties. The ability to paint outside corner. You have to respect inside because he's got enough juice that he can get in there. But when you can start pitching away also against the left-handers, it just gives him another weapon.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A little courtesy toss to JOYCE. JOYCE will run once in a while, but not that frequently. 6-4, Tampa Bay leads. Top of the 8th inning.
Strike 3 call.
Outside corner, Casey Jansen does his job. We are in a 2-run game. 6-4 Tampa Bay leads. And let's check in with Jamie Campbell in the Blackberry broadcast studio. Up in the bottom of the 8th, and he's had a tough night in the field.
Yeah, he certainly has. First inning, it got it started by that one, and then this one. I'll tell you, when it rains, it pours. And a lot of times, when you aren't feeling too well, that ball will find you. This one here, he throws wild, and they did not get an error on that one. But I'm telling you, the ball will find you. You just have to just battle through it. And right now, Encarnacion has been struggling in the field.
Seems like every ball that is hit goes right to him. Takes the first pitch. Strike from Joel Peralta. Peralta ended the 7th inning. Got Aaron Hill to pop up to right.
You know, I've been there before. Made multiple errors. Okay,
isn't that the truth?
You can't let it affect you hitting though. That you just have to forget about it. It's a 2-run game. Your job right now is to get on base any way you can.
That's easy for you to say. You could hit. How about me? When I made a couple errors, I couldn't hit. There was nothing I could do to help myself.
Well, they were pinch hitting for you right here.
That's for sure.
I'm just kidding.
He needs to come up with a good at bat here and get on base. If they can tie it up, all will be forgotten. 1-1. Good eye down and away. Blue Jays need a base runner. It'll be Encarnacion, Arancibia, and Eric Thames here in the 8th inning.
He is 1 for 1 in his career against Peralta. Pick out a fastball right here and get your first home run.
It mentioned that one goal the Blue Jays had early was to get into the Rays bullpen. Erickson had been so good in his last 2 starts, coming off a complete game shutout last time out. So they get him out of the game after 5 2/3.
And that's exactly what Joe Maddon is trying to do right now. Try to figure out how he wants to finish off this game.
Popped up. Zobrist, the second baseman calling for it, makes the catch. 1 out. JP Arencibia 0 for 2 with a walk. Arencibia's average down to 227. Pop this one up, straight up over home plate. Jaso, the catcher, makes the catch. 2 quick outs. Now it's the play of the game, brought to you by Rogers. Hello, Speed Boost. Goodbye, waiting. Another first, only from Rogers.
It's always exciting when a young player comes up and he gets his first big league hit. A solid single to center that will drive in his first run also for Eric Thames. He just keeps on hitting. 342 down in AAA. And tonight, 1 for 2 with a walk.
He shows a good eye. We saw that in spring training. Very selective for a power hitter. He has a pretty good approach, a pretty good game plan.
You were telling me you saw him over at Lakeland go opposite field for a home run.
Opposite field home run against Brad Thomas, who didn't give up a home run to a left-handed batter all year last year. But he's got good opposite field power. Changeup. He's going to get a few of those. I mean, he just looks like a fastball hitter. You don't have to know anything about him. You have to say, well, this guy can handle a fastball.
Well, all you have to do is go back to the first pitch he saw in big leagues. Came unglued looking to try and drive it out of here.
0-2, 2 outs. Quick pitch to him. Tried to sneak one by him. Peralta is changing his delivery. In the last couple of pitches, he's missed the strike zone. That off-speed pitch gets Thames. He strikes out for a second time tonight. A very good inning, a good appearance for Peralta. He has a 1-2, 3/8 inning. We've played 8 complete. Jason Frazier will pitch the 9th. redefining luxury.
Matt Joyce has been swinging a hot stick for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he's going to pick on Jesse Lynch, a high fastball that he drives out of here for number 7. RBIs number 20 and 21 for Matt Joyce, hitting in the number 5 spot tonight, and he has been a big bat for Tampa this season.
Matt Joyce has scored a couple, he's driven in a couple, and he has been a red-hot hitter. The bullpen, their dominance continues here tonight. Villanueva with 2 good innings of work. Casey Jansen had a solid inning. And now Jason Frazier will try to continue the string of good pitching out of the bullpen.
He's been doing that. 162 earned run average in his 16 2/3 innings. Last pitched 4 days ago. That was at Minnesota, where he got a no decision. Just faced one batter in that game and struck him out. We'll have to go down through the heart of the order of the Rays.
Zobrist goes after that first pitch. Zobrist is 0 for 3. He walked in the first. Just missed with the fastball. This is the first of a short 2-game series. Tampa Bay, the first game of a 10-game road trip. They will go from Toronto back to Miami to start interleague play against the Marlins. And then, as the schedulers just want to mess with Tampa Bay, they're going to fly back to Detroit.
So they're going to start in Florida, come up here,
Toronto,
go back down to Florida, and then come back here.
Michigan. 4,400 miles in 10 days.
I'm sure Tampa doesn't mind the way they've been playing on the road.
13-5 on the road, just 2 games under at home. 11-13 at Tropicana Field. Joe Madden may have made the move of the game when he walked Jose Bautista with a man on. Bautista was representing the tying run at that point that came in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
Got to get a couple of runners on next inning to make sure he hits again.
Encarnacion scoops it and goes to the bag. First out of the night. Fans, it's time for the best baseball camp in Canada. Honda Super Camps presented by Baseball Canada. It'll take place in Halifax, Nova Scotia, July 18th, 19th, and 20th. The instructors will include Dwayne Ward, Homer Bush, Dennis Boucher, and Vance Mullinex. Log on to BlueJays.com/camp for more information. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada.
Talked to Dwayne Ward last week, and he's psyched. He is fired up about these camps.
Camps have really been popular. They have signed up a lot of campers and added a couple of extra camps, so make sure you don't get left out in the cold. Chance to see some old Blue Jay players, and Denny Boucher played for the Expos, and get some great instruction and enjoy a 3-day camp. Johnny Damon, a couple of hits again tonight. Damon is now 11 for 28 against the Blue Jays this season. Got 11 hits in this, the 7th game. 7 games, 11 hits.
How about his career against Toronto? He's had 840 at-bats against Toronto in his career. 239 hits.
It's a 2-run game in the 9th inning. Jose Bautista would be the 5th batter to come to the plate if the Blue Jays can get a couple on. But first, Jason Frazier has to get through the top of the ninth. Three and one. Johnny Damon takes the 1-out walk. That's the first walk issued by the bullpen tonight.
They've only given up a couple of runners. Villanueva gave up a single, and that was quickly wiped out by the double play, and then the error last inning. Keep it right there. Take your chances in the bottom of the 9th inning. Whenever these two teams get together, the games are always exciting. They really are.
Close ball games and very tight games. Both teams are fairly evenly matched. The Rays, of course, have the upper hand in starting pitching at this point. And they've got a powerful left-handed bat, something the Blue Jays are missing in Adam Lind.
And doesn't Joe Maddon know that?
Yeah. He has had it mapped out. He was talking about that in his office with you and I earlier today. Really sorry to see Adam Lind on the disabled list. Tongue firmly planted in his cheek.
In his cheek, right? Not to knock anybody who's there, but he just has a lot of respect for Adam hitting behind Bautista, because it's hard, a right-hander and a left-hander. What do you do there?
Hard to get through that point of the lineup. Johnny Damon faked the break, snap throw to first. Kyle Farnsworth has been the closer, and a very good one for Tampa Bay. He is loosened up and ready to go. Joe Maddon, Jim Hickey had to rebuild the entire bullpen. A tremendous defection to free agency after last season. But so far, so good. Breaking ball for a strike.
And they got off to such a rough start this year. The Tampa Bay Rays, 1-8 out of the chute. But they've steadied the ship, and they're just playing just good, solid, fundamental baseball.
Well, there was no panic, and that will be true when you have a consistent coaching staff and a confident manager. Stripped down the left field line. That is a fair ball up into the corner. Patterson gets it quickly back in and keeps Damon from scoring. Corey Patterson played that ball very well. Longoria gets his first hit of the night. It's a double with 1 out.
Well, he was shading him to left field because of Longoria's power. This ball is hooked down the left field line, and it looked like it hit right on the line and ricochet right to Patterson, who got it in quickly. 7 doubles now for Longoria. And with first base open in a 2-run game, I'm sure Matt Joyce isn't going to get a chance to swing the bat.
Yeah, they're going to put him on with the base open. So John Farrell is elected to walk Matt Joyce. Joyce has a 2-run home run. He'll deal with B.J. Upton. Upton on deck. So the chess game continues between the two managers. They're both basically the same type of offense. They can't stand and go toe-to-toe like the Red Sox and the Yankees. They have to pick their spots and avoid the pitfalls of pitching to power hitters like Joyce and Bautista.
We were also talking to Joe Maddon when we were down in Tampa a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about that type of offense and what it does to the opposition. He goes, as a manager, I can't defend a team that can put that kind of pressure on you. And I know how uncomfortable I feel as a manager. So I want to play that game. And it's not a good feeling.
John Farrell has talked about his style of offense as an uncomfortable offense, one that makes the other defense uncomfortable, on their toes, and edgy. So B.J. Upton will bat, bases loaded. 1 out. Fouled off the glove of Aaron Sebia. That was a very awkward foul tip. Probably caught him on the thumb of his glove.
This is interesting. That's what I thought. I was thinking catcher's interference, Buck, on this swing. It looked like the bat hit Aaron Sebia's glove.
Boy, it sure did, didn't it?
You don't see the reactions from catchers like that on a ball off the glove, off a foul tip.
Oh, 1-1. Blue Jays got a break. It's a 2-run game. John Farrell trying to will his team to get out of this inning. Blue Jays have turned one double play tonight. Rays with the bases loaded, 6 for 16. They haven't hit a grand slam. They'd love to get a ground ball here. The Blue Jays would give Frazier a chance to get out of this inning.
He has had success against B.J. Upton in his career. Lots of strikeouts against Upton, just 2 for 15. Upton versus Frazier. Nowhere to put him now.
Counts in Upton's favor. 2 balls and a strike. Upton just trying to put the ball in play as late on that outside fastball. You can see he's aware of the numbers against Frazier. He's not had much success, so all he's trying to do is protect the zone, put the ball in play.
I don't know if he was looking for some reason for an off-speed pitch, but he was tardy on a 2-1 fastball. A half swing.
Might not pick the ball up from Frazier. You see those kinds of numbers, and there's something that's causing his problems. 2-2. In the dirt, blocked by Arencibia. We are in the 9th inning, 1 out. Johnny Damon walked with 1 out, and Longoria rifled a double down in the left field corner. Matt Joyce was intentionally walked to load the bases. B.J. Upton with a 3-2 count. Nowhere to put him. Grounded foul outside of the bag at third. Blue Jays have hung in there against Joe Maddon's ball club. The Rays jumped out to a 6-0 lead. John Farrell's ball club really kicked it around defensively. Last time they have committed 5 errors. You have to go back to 2000, May 21st against the White Sox. They committed 4 errors in the first 3 innings, and then another error in the 8th. Encarnacion has been charged with 2. Strike 3 call. Upton caught looking at an outside fastball. He doesn't agree with the home plate umpire, Mike DeMiro, but Frazier continues his dominance of Upton.
Blue Jays caught a break. Joe Maddon all over the home plate umpire. They caught a break on the catcher's interference, and Maddon letting them know that he thinks that ball was down.
2 outs. Casey KOTCHMAN has an infield single in 4 at bats. Late on a fastball. Joe Maddon is hot. He felt like that pitch was outside.
And possibly down.
Borderline low for sure. The bottom of the strike zone by definition is the hollow below the kneecap. That looked like it might have been low. No balls in a strike. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. Casey KOTCHMAN hitting 154 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 2-1. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth. Rajai Davis, Jason Nix, and then back to the top of the order, Yunel Escobar, the three scheduled hitters.
A couple of grand slams for KOTCHMAN.
Good fastball. 2-2. The Blue Jays bullpen leads the major leagues in opponents' batting average.
Also, the fewest hits per 9 innings the bullpen has given up. One pitch away from getting out of it.
Full count. The runners will be on the move. That eliminates it. Bang bang. Force out at second. Damon's at third. Longoria at second. Matt Joyce at first. They will all be off on the pitch. Casey KOTCHMAN with a 3-2 count. Popped him up. Bautista coming in. We will go to the bottom of the ninth. The Blue Jays trail by 2. The Blue Jays bullpen has been outstanding. Davis will start it off. Jason Nix, the number 9 hitter. Then Yunel Escobar, the shortstop. You will be brought up to date on everything that has gone on in the game, highlights and all of that, and they'll bring you right up to date at Sportsnet Pacific following the Canucks game. Kyle Farnsworth, 8 of 9 in save opportunities on to protect this 2-run lead for Tampa Bay.
Still throws really hard. When Farnsworth came up with the Cubs, you wonder how he got hit because he threw so hard, triple digits, but now he's been around in the major leagues. This is his 12th year. He understands pitching a little bit better. He has spent time with the Cubs in Detroit, Atlanta, New York, Detroit again, Kansas City, Atlanta again. But now since coming here, he has become the closer. He understands his role. He understands how to pitch, and you don't have to throw the ball 100 miles an hour to get big league hitters out.
Picked up his 8th save of the season Monday against New York. Had a perfect 9th inning. And he throws hard. So the Blue Jays need a couple of base runners. Blue Jays bullpen with 6 solid innings. Jesse Litch finished out his 5 innings of work with 2 good innings. Then the bullpen came on and pitched 4 shutout innings. Rajai Davis cuts on the first pitch at 93.
He came into this season, Kyle Farnsworth, with 27 career saves. Really, he started when he was younger and set up man because he just was a little bit too wild when he was younger.
Davis rips it into the gap in left center.
That'll go all the way to the wall. Davis around first. He's headed to second. He'll stop there. A leadoff double for Rajai Davis.
And they get closer to Jose Bautista. One more guy has to get on, and that will guarantee him up to the plate. Looked like an off-speed pitch from Farnsworth that he elevated right into the hitting zone for Rajai Davis. Extra base hit. Good start here in the ninth.
Third double of the season for Davis, and a very timely double. So Jason Nix will step in, and Nix represents the tying run. First pitch upstairs. Nix first at bat against Kyle Farnsworth. There goes Davis to third. Pitch is taken. He steals it easily. It's a stolen base and a 1-1 count on Nix. The infield will stay back. Madden checking to make sure it's a 1-1 count. Hop straight up, back behind home plate. Jaso has a beat on it. Big out for Tampa Bay.
Looked like it might have been a ball.
Next one after that high fastball, and that's that borderline pitch upstairs.
As a hitter, it's like right there, almost too good. You see that ball rising, and it's tough to get on top of it. Trying to blow it out of here to keep that at bat alive, but it stays in.
Yunel Escobar now with one out and Davis at third. Escobar is 0 for 3 tonight. Has yet to extend his hit streak. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Blue Jays just 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They've also committed 5 errors in this game, but the bullpen has kept them right in the middle of it. Ground ball. Johnson rights himself, throws out Escobar, but the run comes in. It's a 1-run game, but there are now 2 outs.
RBI for Escobar. Now with 2 down, the outfield cannot give up an extra base hit. They have to play a little bit deeper. Corey Patterson has a couple of extra base hits already tonight.
Well, given what we've seen in this game so far, if Patterson does get on board, you can see that 5 errors is the difference in this ball game. But if Patterson can keep the inning alive, there's no way they're going to pitch to Bautista.
If they're not going to pitch to him in the 7th, they're not going to pitch to him in the 9th.
Corey Patterson, a couple of extra base hits. Late on a fastball. 0-2. Blue Jays down to their final strike. Up and away. Farnsworth and Patterson were teammates in Chicago with the Cubs.
Patterson would play center field, so he knows what his breaking ball looks like and when he likes to use it.
Spoiled a pretty good pitch. 6-5 ball game. Blue Jays have just 6 hits, but they've made the most of them. Strike 3 called. 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside corner. Patterson strikes out. That leaves Bautista on the on-deck circle. Farnsworth picks up save number 9 and secures the 5th win of the season for Jeremy Hellickson. Tampa Bay wins the opener 6-5. Blue Jays had a rough game with 5 errors. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.